cold and windy around the Middle Tennessee area, but things are ready to heat up in the Adams Tennis Complex as the 24th highest ranked ITA team in the Auburn Tigers collides with the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State University. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Dylan Simmons, Izzy Gutierrez down on courtside with us. Proud to be with you in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And who better to help us set the stage than the head coach of the Auburn Tigers himself, Coach Bobby Reynolds. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. You know, this is the 4th overall matchup between the Blue Raiders and the Tigers, and this is actually the first time that you are traveling here to Murfreesboro in the Adams Tennis Complex. What impresses you most about the ATC?
Oh, it's got a great energy out here. Coach Jimmy's doing a great job. Our guys are prepared for it. But yeah, it's a great facility, good people, and we've had a good time so far.
Well, absolutely. And one question I have is, you've faced Middle Tennessee State before, just faced them last year. What kind of differences is Auburn going to use going into this game?
There's not many differences at all. Every time we play you guys, it's an absolute battle. We're expecting 4-3, every point matters. We have a ton of respect for MTSU and the boys. We're ready for a battle, and if we don't battle, then it's not going to be a nice trip home for us.
Absolutely. So you guys have gotten off to a very impressive 8-0 start this season. What do you think has been the thing that has impressed you the most about your team?
We've got 10 guys that like each other, fight hard for each other. They've bought into what we're doing, and the whole group, there's no holes from top to bottom.
Coach, you alluded to it with the great relationship you have with MTSU, but Coach Borendame is actually stealing a little bit of the show in the shop behind you. But how's your experience been working with Coach Jimmy Borendame over the years?
It's good. It's always intense. He brings the best out of you. He brings the best out of you because you know his teams are going to show up and they're going to battle, and if you don't match that, you know, players reflect the leadership, so we're ready for a battle.
Which should be exciting. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach Reynolds. Best of luck to you this afternoon. As again, Coach Bobby Reynolds of the Auburn Tigers as they're getting Coach Borendame set up. You can tell the humility within Coach Reynolds from his answers.
Absolutely, and you can tell the passion and the desire he has coming into today. It's going to be a very great game for him.
And who better to help us set the stage even more than Coach Jimmy Borendame. Coach, we could go complicated with all the questions here and there, but I'll just ask, what's the overall feeling with yourself and your squad heading into this matchup against the Tigers?
We're fired up. I mean, last weekend, to get 2 dubs over 2 strong Power 5 teams, one at home, one on the road, in a very difficult place to play. I think the stage is set for some really good tennis from our part.
Absolutely, and going off of that, how do you think that momentum is going to carry into this game?
We had a great week of practice. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's healthy. So that's a big thing, just trying to manage guys with the different niggles and whatnot. So it's, I think we're ready to go. Doubles point should be really interesting to be honest. I think between the both teams, we've only lost 1 doubles point, and that would be my team lost to Notre Dame. But other than that, it's been, all doubles from both teams.
Coach, we were actually looking at your players pregame, and they were warming up with a soccer ball instead of usually the tennis racket and the tennis balls. I wonder, is that part of the normal routine, using that type of hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, don't get me started on the soccer ball. That soccer ball, I mean, I offered one of the kids $25 to give me that soccer ball, because if one of them rolls their ankle with that soccer ball, I told them not to even come back. But we'll see. So, it gets them fired up, and they're having fun. So, how are you? Good to see you, Mary Catherine. It's going to be a great match. So I appreciate you guys doing this, and I'm excited to see the crowd out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more question: how do you prepare for a team like Auburn, which is 8-0, that has had a lot of success? How do you prepare for them?
We just practice. Well, to be honest, I don't really worry too much about the other team. I just try to focus on us and getting us better. And that's when I focus on us, that's the key.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to talking to you post-game. Should be a good one against the Tigers.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Spencer Thompson, Dylan Simmons, Izzy Gutierrez with us courtside. The coach has built it up really well, but time for us to add our little flair in that from the research you and I have both done. Well, the Auburn Tigers only 1 game on the road so far, 7-0 at home. They've been impressive, but last year they started out the season, they finished 7-15. So a better record so
so far compared to last year. How do they keep that momentum coming into today's contest?
Well, I think it's going to be going back to what we saw Coach Reynolds say, kind of keeping that momentum going. And he knows how MTSU works. He's been against this team before, and he knows what it takes to beat them, as he did last year, 4-2. But like you said, they've gotten off to an 8-0 start, and I think it's just going to be about maintaining a consistent and productive play style. And if he can do that, then Auburn will have a lot of success.
And I tell you what, the record doesn't show that they had one of the top singles teams in the country, ranked number 18 for the 2021 season.
Yes.
The record not showing that at all. Meanwhile, for MTSU, it's one of those situations where they lost to Notre Dame. Everyone knows about what happened with losing that contest, but since then they've been on a 3-game winning streak. As Coach Borndame alluded to, had 2 good wins on the road, including that sweep against IUB. MTSU has a lot of momentum themselves right now, and not many people are on losing streaks coming into today.
Absolutely not. And MTSU, like you said, has a lot of momentum. And, I think the loss of the streak has almost helped to alleviate some of that, as we saw Coach Jimmy discuss earlier. But that has kind of lit a new fire under them, and it's almost been a motivating factor. They've beaten Virginia Tech. They've beaten Tennessee State. Just got off a big victory again in Bloomington against Indiana, and they're carrying that right back here to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex.
And especially here at the Adams Tennis Complex, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Usually it's a whole month in October, but with tennis, of course, having the majority of the contests in the spring, honoring it today, as you can see with ourselves. We got the pink lapels. We got some merchandise that they're giving out or selling here at the ATC that we'll show later. But it just shows, of course, that there's so much more beyond the game of tennis, beyond the game of any of the sports, and it's an important part of the MTSU, not just MTSU, but as well for the Auburn Tigers, to celebrate and recognize what breast cancer awareness is and how to start making a good path for recovery.
Absolutely, and for all those out there who are suffering from breast cancer awareness, this is a time for all of us to show our support for you and show our support for a cause that, of course, needs support. And, of course, it's great to be able to do that here in their own way, and both MTSU and Auburn fans showing that, and it's great, again, to support such a great cause.
As you see some action there from one of the courts, MTSU warming up, not with the soccer ball, warming up with a racketed tennis ball this time. But for MTSU, even with the loss to Notre Dame, it's a 7-game winning streak on the doubles matchup between Oscar and Francisco. It's one of those doubles matchups that's so dangerous to deal with. But for Auburn, their doubles matchup right now with Maxwell and Rowell is 5-0. Haven't lost a single contest there. And even the doubles matchup between Jan and Tyler is just impressive. It's 6-1. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Doubles play is going to be very interesting here at the ATC.
Absolutely, and MTSU always usually so dominant and so quick to get that early doubles point. But like you said, almost a little bit of trickery going into this one against an Auburn squad that has a very good couple of doubles team and really is complete all around. And they're not 8-0 for nothing. They've got impressive victories so far this season against Georgia Tech, Wisconsin, and a nationally ranked doubles team in Galka and Tyler Stice for Auburn, currently ranked 46th in the ITA doubles. So it's going to be very interesting to see how MTSU is going to handle this today, but I know Coach Jimmy's got a game plan dialed up, and we're going to see it in action.
Auburn, the 24th, number 24 on the top 25 ITA rankings as of February 9th. They're the only team so far this season that MTSU has faced that's actually ranked on the ITAs in those top 25. So you talk about a measuring stick of how MTSU can make a case for them being in those top rankings. Certainly a chance for them to impress the ITA here at the ATC.
Absolutely. This can be a season-defining win and a program-defining win for MTSU. If you want to impress people, this is the kind of victory that you could use for your advantage. And there's a reason why Coach Jimmy reached out to Coach Reynolds of Auburn to schedule this matchup at the ATC. He wants that sort of big victory and perhaps a little bit of revenge for last year, losing in that 4-2 contest.
Lost 4-2 last year, and MTSU looking for their first post-pandemic win against the Auburn Tigers, where they won 4-2 in February of 2020. And for the Blue Raiders, Coach Borndame right now there's so much on the line for the Blue Raiders. He's had such a fantastic legacy already, but the 2-time defending Conference USA champions are looking to go right back to the championship later in April, and it continues right here
especially on the motivational side.
Yeah, and we've discussed it earlier in the game. Conference USA play is really going to start up next week for MTSU. Already have played a game earlier this season, which currently nets them the Conference USA lead, but this is a game to really help them going into conference play.
And for the Auburn Tigers, they have not played a single matchup in the SEC either, so should be special as we head into, as we get closer and closer to match time. The Tigers and the Blue Raiders, it's coming up on CUSA TV.
Auburn, we have Maxwell Giddens and Raul Dubai. For Middle Tennessee, Chris Edge and Stepan Hollis. On court 2 for Auburn, we have Jan Galka and Tyler Stice. For Middle Tennessee, Pavel Model and Stein Slump. And on the top court for
Apologies,
Auburn,
ladies and gentlemen. Hard to hear our producer here to tell us that we are back in the Adams Tennis Complex as the Blue Raiders collide with the Tigers of Auburn. Spencer Thompson, Dylan Simmons, Izzy Gutierrez with us on the sidelines. Proud to be with you here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The doubles lineup is coming up in just a moment as we'll get that for you here. You can see the Blue Raiders getting hyped up. Part of the superstition for MTSU.
Yes, indeed, and they've been getting hyped up all day. You can see them getting into that formation right now, getting themselves pumped up, passioned up. They're ready to play and ready to prove themselves against Auburn. And now you see them kind of retreating over to the sideline. Going to be very interesting to see what kind of passion, what kind of intensity they come out with today. I think controlling emotions and making sure not to let the game overtake you as a player is going to be one of the keys for MTSU today. We'll see how they'll handle it. Adams Tennis Complex currently filled to the rafters with fans right now, and you can begin to feel that intensity and that passion from the fan base. It's going to be huge today, and of course, always a great fan base coming out to support us in these men's and women's tennis matchups, and especially with today's game, it's going to be all the more important to have that fan investment.
Yeah, the Adams Tennis Complex, they do the MTSU Athletics Department, including Coach Jimmy Borendame, has done a fantastic job with getting fans in the stands, doing all the marketing promotions that they can, and it shows, especially with it being, you know, Breast Cancer Awareness Day. There was Military Appreciation Day a few weeks ago. That I was on the call for that one.
Yes.
And it should be fun here from the ATC.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be, again, one of those kind of watershed games for MTSU. And, of course, when you're going up against a nationally known opponent like Auburn, ranked in the ITA, with players ranked in the ITA, it becomes all the more critical for you as a team to be able to step up to the challenge. But if there's any team that can do it, that can find that resiliency, I think MTSU's got what it takes. And I expect we're going to see a very close, evenly matched game. And I think one of the keys is how will MTSU handle the Auburn attack? We know Auburn likes to slam it down your throat, to hit it fast and quick often. Question is, how is MTSU going to handle that pressure? Will they be able to live up to the attack? And how are things going to go for them today?
Absolutely. And And now we're starting on court 5 right now. At least as it's labeled in the stadium, that's court 2 for the doubles. Go ahead and get your doubles lineup for today. Of course, the ace team for the Blue Raiders in Oscar and Francisco are matched up. They will collide. It's actually been swapped up on the lineup. It's actually Stein and Francisco who are paired up. Not usually the pairing we see for the doubles 1, but Coach Jimmy giving them a nod. We got Chris and Stefan on the second team for MTSU, and Oscar and Pavel combined for doubles number 3.
Yeah, Coach Jimmy switching up the lineups a little bit today, so that's going to create for some interesting chemistry, but these players know each other well enough. I think they're going to be able to adapt very quickly and make use of the change. First serve going into the net that time for Auburn, so that should give MTSU a quick pickup here. For MTSU right now, getting that doubles point is going to be so critical, especially against a team as talented as Auburn, but this is one of the few cases where getting the doubles point might be even tougher. That one will fall into the net as well.
Especially think about the amount of pressure that they've had in doubles. Great angle there.
Yes, indeed. Perfectly done that time. You saw it disoriented the Auburn player for just a moment. Could not quite get it over the net like he wanted to, and that's why you got to hit it fast and quick. MTSU did both of those right there.
And additionally on the doubles lineup, you've got Tad and Finn as the ace team for the Tigers. Got Jan and Tyler on doubles 2, and Maxwell and Rawl combined for doubles 3.
Another one falls into the net that time for Auburn. Seen them have some issues so far with MTSU's quick serves. Going to be interesting to see if they can adapt as this one goes on, as you see Stein now getting ready to serve here.
All right, we want to apologize yet again. We had the lineups there; they got mixed up on us. So let's get you these fully updated on the doubles lineups for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get you that in just a few moments, but they mixed it up on us a little bit.
Yeah, but as you saw on the screen right there, great job up against the net that time again by MTSU. Scoop and ice cream slam, and actually it was a very nicely done there yesterday, but you see all MTSU really picking up the pace there in that opening matchup.
Yeah, we're going to take you around a different action on the doubles courts. They're going to take us over to where the ace team in Francisco and Oscar is for court 1, and you see that it's claims completed on the scoreboard, not updated quite yet. They're working on all the kinks of that play side automatic scoreboard. But as you can see here, that's some of the matchups there for MTSU. Again, it's the ace teams of Oscar and Francisco combined against Tad and Finn.
Yeah, Francisco and Oscar have already been a team for the majority of the season. Had their issues starting out, but they've really started to make it good, and you see with them a 40-15 lead here early. And a nice job there. They'll get the opening point on that one. 1-0 as Francisco and Oscar find their early groove.
Once again, you just see the dominance from MTSU's doubles teams. Again, the only loss they've taken the entire season has been against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish just a few weeks ago. But for MTSU, it's been interesting.
Yeah, and now we got Stefan Hollis and Chris Edge. And now we got a report here.
Well, let's go ahead and hear our reporter for today. We were mistaken. We'll be hearing from Izzy Gutierrez a little bit, but Dan Eschenfelder, the man of many caps, has got something for us.
Yeah, I'm wearing some caps here. We got on court 1, we already have an upset. Got a break on 1, Francisco and Oscar getting it done.
As you can see on your screen, break point on number 2 with Hollis and Edge. You see them celebrating it there.
Yeah, and Auburn just scoring a point at that time, but you see already MTSU getting a minor upset there with Francisco and Oscar of 1-0 at that court. So MTSU's coming out swinging, coming out with a lot of passion, and that's how you get the big dog off of their game. You come out swinging and get early points. This is going to be critical right here for MTSU. 40-40. Next point's going to determine this one, and it could be crucial for MTSU getting this early point, establishing a rhythm.
As they try to get the point there, of course, tied 40. It is a deuce with it being at this point.
And this will be, I believe, the second serve, so it's going to be do or die time for Auburn right here with this serve opportunity. See what Dovi and Giddens have in store.
Got the quick move there. What a quick reflex on that play.
What a job that was that time. That was quickness that would be worthy of Daytona International Speedway, but that was very impressive. And we've got another report here from Mr. Dan Eschenfelder, again, the man of many caps.
That's right, boys. Over on court number 3, another upset alert. Got, who's over there? Help me out. Help me out. We just went up a break on court number 3, and I'm so excited I can't even spit it out. There you go. Court number 3, up a break.
There you heard it.
Let's
court
go.
number 3, up a break. MTSU already establishing itself so far here.
Chris and Stefan up a break there as we take you back to Rocha. We take you back to, it says on there, Rocha, we don't mind the last names, but Oscar and Francisco up a break there. He was alluding to that he couldn't see over the amount of fans here in the ATC. A lot have come out, especially for these big matchups against teams in the SEC and in the ACC. They show up in droves here for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, sometimes trying to look at the scoreboards like trying to look over brush line, but at the end of the day, MTSU fans are devoted and they want to see this team come out on top, and that's looking like what they're here to do.
As you saw, an unfortunate service error there. Quick reflexes and in on the line.
Yeah, that was brilliant hand-eye coordination. We discussed that in the pregame. MTSU, again, hitting the ball at exactly the right time and finding that open groove puts them up 40-30. Gotta love the chemistry that Francisco and Oscar show on a weekly basis.
Chemistry's been fantastic. They've been 7-1 on their doubles. They lost their first ever doubles competition. They didn't even lose it against Notre Dame. That goes high and outside.
Yes, it does, and that was, again, crucial. 2-0 MTSU, and you can tell Oscar and Francisco are feeling it now. And, again, that was a huge one, especially for this team up against Margaret and McLean, who are currently, like we said before in the pregame, a very good doubles team. Actually, I believe they're 4-1 on the season, so this is crucial for MTSU here early, and they're right now having a lot of success.
Tad and Finn, their doubles matchup, they're a 2-game win streak. And that quick reflex does get inside of the line.
Yeah, and Auburn, again, they're not ones to be minced with. They immediately hit back with another one of their own quick reflex shots. Got to wonder, too, if this kind of car ride that they took also is something. Sometimes you get out of the car and you're a little bit worse for the wear. You're maybe not exactly in tone with the game yet. Sometimes it can take a little bit to warm up the oven, so to speak.
It's a little bit of a drive from up here to Murfreesboro from Auburn.
Makes it 15-0, so Auburn currently with the lead, opportunity to make it 30-0 right here. Actually, it is 30-0, excuse me. Chance to make it 40-0. And that's what they're going to do. So Auburn's starting to maybe take a little bit of momentum back now.
Again, up a break on courts 1 and 3. Court 2 right now is tied 1-all in sets.
And again, this doubles point is so crucial for MTSU here early.
As a rule that legal as it goes out of play. Great reflexes there by Oscar. By the team of Oscar and Francisco. Knew that was legal, knew it was still in play, found the right angle.
Yeah, I believe that was Francisco that time. And like you said, not only great reflexes, great recognition to make sure the ball was still in play.
Another service error there.
This will be big for Auburn, trying to shut the door on this one.
Try to get the service there, couldn't get it over. Had the angle and the swat there, just had it pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, as the ball kind of went up in the air there, kind of got misdirected, and now a game that Auburn pretty much had at hand has become ever closer. Last thing you want to do is give them a 40-0 lead.
High and outside.
Yeah, a little too far that time, I believe. So tough one there for MTSU, but the important thing is not to let it get too much in their heads. Still with a 2-1 lead for Francisco and Oscar.
And that was, of course, on court 1. We're going to take you over to court 2, where we see the action between Pavel and Stein as they collide with Jan and Tyler. And I believe they actually just went to recess there as we'll try to take you over to court 3. 2-1 on all the courts, as you see above my head here on the scoreboard. 2-1 for every one bit of the action there. And all of them are actually on recess right now. Close matchups. MTSU is in control on all of them, but Notre Dame is starting to fight back in some of those. On court 3, it was 1-1. MTSU's taken the lead. It was 2-0 on courts 1 and 3.
Yes.
And then with it being 2-0, and they now fought back for 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing Auburn really finding their groove here, and it looked like they were a little bit slow starting out the gate, but it looks like they've found that chemistry they need to combat this MTSU attack, and we're going to see if that pays off here, if it was kind of just a blur of the mirror, or if MTSU can get back into that way they were before.
Rollin Maxwell for the Tigers collide with Chris and Stepan.
Looks like Hollis is going to be serving this one. See how far Auburn is standing back for both players.
Service error there.
Usually you'll see a player move up, and now you do see it for Auburn, but saw with that first initial serve, they kind of were both towards the back line. Interesting strategy there.
Found the angle, and great move by Auburn there. MTSU just didn't set it up properly.
Yeah, and they're showing why they're an 8-0 team right there with hits like that. That was perfectly placed right on the white line where MTSU could do literally nothing about it. And we'll see how MTSU responds.
Goes far out.
Hollis and Edge, of course, trying to overcome this right now. Like we said before, you don't want to give Auburn the momentum back. Momentum is a strange thing, and it can turn at any given time. So if you're MTSU, you want to make sure you maintain this lead, and part of that is combating their plays with some of your own.
Okay, we're looking at this undefeated team in doubles. And you're seeing why they've been 5-0 on their doubles matchup so far.
Yes, indeed. They absolutely played that to perfection, but I love the little brilliant display of tennis we saw there as they both went back and forth across the white line, barely over the net. That was some incredible play by both teams. That was brilliance that would make Albert Einstein proud.
Outside there, Maxwell, #1 recruiting prospect in Alabama, paired up with his teammate Raul, born in Romania, but previously conference champion for Mountain West Conference with New Mexico, player of the year for 2020 to 2021. Good addition for the Auburn Tigers. Tried to retire the side, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, good job by Edge that time, not hitting the ball out of the air too. Was it smart enough to realize where the ball was going, and that was directly into the green. And now MTSU makes it 30-40. Question is, can they overcome this deficit? That's been the main question. How is MTSU going to respond to this adversity here early? Because we knew they were going to face it in some form.
Bounce off of the net, and the break is no longer an advantage for the Blue Raiders. For Hollis and Edge, it's tied up at 2-2.
Yes, and now it's a 2-2 game. So basically at this point, it's a 0-0 game. So everything's equivalent now. Fresh slate for MTSU, chance to regroup and restart themselves.
Instead of best 6 out of 11, it's now best 4 out of 7 with that matchup. As we take you back to court 2, where Jan and Tyler collide with Pavel and Stein.
Yeah, haven't seen Pavel and Stein in a while, so interested to see how they're doing in this matchup. And again, now with that other game being 2-2, that means all these other games have all the more importance for MTSU to get this early doubles point.
We're being told there's a breakup on one as that ball goes into the net. They're on serve here on court 2. Actually, he's on serve over on court 1. Just needle and thread there for Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was an interesting play right that time for Stein and MTSU. You kind of saw that. I don't think they were expecting the ball to get inbounds, kind of just stood there and looked like they kind of got caught off guard that time. That happens as a player, but looks like that just might have been a lapse in concentration or maybe just a different expectation of where the ball was going. Here comes that quick serve from Stein.
Got the better of his opponent.
Did that for sure, and it's so hard. I've seen Stein serve that a million times, and it's just incredible to see, especially in person, how quick of a velocity he hits it at. It's really hard as an opponent, as a tennis player, to hit that kind of ball back because it's just, he usually hits it in that one place where you don't want it to be, and it can catch your opponent off guard.
There's the setup. And the high arc got in perfect position in the center of their side of the court. For MTSU, they're facing off against the 6-1 doubles team that's on a 4-game winning streak. And they got to try to get the better of Jan and Tyler here. So far, it's the other way around.
That ball looks like it sailed out, so another chance, but yeah, like you said, Auburn's found that success here, and we'll see what MTSU can respond with.
So get a lucky break there.
Yeah, and that was a big break for MTSU. They were kind of on the ropes on this series, but see Coach Jimmy talking to him now. Auburn made a bit of a crucial error, and those mental errors, those mental mistakes, you don't want to give away any free points, especially when you're playing two perfectionist teams like these. It's going to be all the more crucial to avoid those easy mistakes.
You can see a little bit of celebration over on court 1 by the Blue Raiders, having some excitement there. Excitement continues on court 2.
And you've heard the passion from all these players. You don't think they don't care? They are absolutely loving this, and they live for moments like this.
Tried to dig, just couldn't get it over.
Yeah, that was a scoop shot again as he just tried to pry it off of the ground. Did Stein, just unable to do so. And sometimes you get to a ball just a split second too late. I think that's what we saw on that one.
Court 3 is a 3-2 advantage for MTSU. Court 2 is tied at 2-all, which we're seeing the action here right now. And court 1 is advantage 3-1. Notre Dame on the serve on court 1, MTSU on the serve on courts 2 and 3.
Stein coming up with another serve right here. Oh, beautiful backhand that time.
The level of difficulty that you have to that has to be overcome for those kind of backhanded shots. It's just so easy for a senior from the Netherlands.
Yeah, and that's a play that you can get taught, you can practice that, but when you're in the game, when you're actually doing that, that is so hard to execute. Got to give full considerations that time. What an amazing play. Looks like that one sailed outside the box.
And the senior pairing.
A lot of experience between these two.
Netherlands and the Czech Republic. Great positioning. Borendame just as excited as everyone else is.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things I love about Coach Jimmy. He absolutely loves to see his players succeed, and he gets fired up with them. I think that's the sign of a coach who cares and a bunch of players who are playing at a very high and intense level.
You just saw MTSU go up 3-2 on court 2. We're going to take you over, I believe, to court 1 as we see the action from the A team of Francisco and Oscar, as again, right now they're up a break against Auburn.
Yeah, currently nursing a 40-0 deficit, however. Going to be a big turning point here.
Potentially a turning point for MTSU's favor with that going into the net.
Yes.
Wide and outside, and with that Auburn starts to claw back on court 1. It's now So it looks like they're going to take us over to court 2. Looks like that's where the only action is, either there or court 3. And we'll see the action over on court 3 with Stefan and Chris, the only active contest right now of this doubles pairing. Dug for it, and Auburn capitalized.
Yeah, you kind of saw, I believe it was Hollis that time, trying to swat the ball away, but again, just really, really close and just missed it, I believe. But when the ball's in the air that fast, at that high of speed, it's hard as a player to make sure you react in time.
You can see Chris and Stefan have stats in their favor right now. And it's benefiting them there.
Nice job that time, as you see our version of Next Gen Stats here of PlaySight. 3-2 MTSU with the lead right now. And like we said, this is such a crucial matchup for Hollis and Edge. Had the advantage early, but Dubai and Giddens have not given up yet, and they continue to find a way to stay there, claw their way back into this one. For the Blue Raiders, it's going to be kind of, I think, striking time for them.
Auburn more favored on winning the break points, but also there's a reason why they're leading right now. As this goes up. There it is.
Yeah, that one was high and outside, and that was perfectly done again by the man in the white cap, Chris Edge, again with a brilliant play. And he again shows why he is one of the better tennis players here at MTSU, with a nice high arcing play, and that kind of form, that is hard to defend.
Reason why he was the player of the year for 2020 in Conference USA. He's only been surpassed by the one he's paired with one he has been paired with before in Francisco. Beautiful play there by Edge and Hollis.
Yeah, and the fist pump with the celebration, another nice play, and this time it's Hollis getting in on the action. A nice shot that goes right over the net, just barely creases it, but that's enough for MTSU to get a 30-0 lead, and that's exactly the kind of shot you want as a player. It's the kind of shot that gives you the satisfaction like, yeah, I think I got this now, and it's the kind of play you always want to see.
Again, MTSU was up 3-1 on this match on court 3. Leading in this doubles competition at Auburn has started to fight its way back again. Undefeated doubles team for a reason in Rollin Maxwell. You love the reaction times from Auburn and the positioning. Just on that play, didn't get the right move.
Yeah, they didn't, and now 40-0 MTSU. Great job again by Hollis and Edge right up against the net. And I love how they're attacking this one. Like you said, they were up 3-1 earlier, but they knew Auburn wasn't going to go away quietly. They expected this, and they knew this was coming out of Auburn. But I love the tenacity that they have shown here.
Wide and outside gave up their first points of this set.
The question's really going to be if they are going to be able to fight off this attack, because MTSU has the pieces to win this matchup. They're showing it right now. But Auburn is great at making middle-of-the-game adjustments, finding out their opponent's play styles, and adapting. That's going to be the question for MTSU. Can they adapt as well?
They managed to adapt there. 4-3 advantage on court 3.
Well, it's either adapt or lose, and MTSU showed they are going to be very much able to adapt right there. Huge one. That puts us up 4-3. Absolutely massive.
Court 3 has taken a break. Courts 1 and 2 are back in action, and we're going to head over to court 1 to see the A team again for doubles matchup. 7-1 Blue Raiders versus the 4-1 Tigers.
Those records tell the story. That's all you need to know. Both of these teams incredibly successful, and they have the pieces to get this matchup done. Fortunately for them, only one can win.
Got it in position. Found the opening needle and thread. 4-2 on court 1.
Perfectly done, centered it up, and delivered again. Did Brostrom Poulsen that time, and MTSU has now made it a 4-2 game, and things are really beginning to come together quite nicely for the Blue Raiders.
And I know they're going to take us over to court 2, but you see courts 1 and 3 are both in action here as actually it looked like they were about to go on a break there. It's just a brief pause instead of going over to the benches. Usually you see them go over there in between sets. But with that, we stay here on court 1 with the largest advantage of any of the doubles matchups.
Yeah, I talked about that brief break. I'd call it the calm before the storm. A moment for both these teams to recuperate and reinvest in their game. For Auburn, it's a chance to kind of catch their breath, currently facing this onslaught.
And it's just Auburn has this way of putting the ball in perfect positions to where if you're going to dig it from getting outside of the lines, it's going to be really tough to get it back over.
Yeah, you can tell kind of which players have been watching film. These Auburn guys have been practicing up on MTSU. Like we said, some shared history between these two teams. They know how each other play, and they know what positions are going to be the hardest for MTSU to defend.
There's a let there.
Another opportunity for Auburn to regroup.
Wide and outside.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those shots so far from Rocha. I think he trying to kind of power it up that time, just kind of slid out on him. Those plays happen sometimes. Maybe your racket isn't exactly hitting where it usually does, or maybe something else is going on, but especially those backhands can be so hard to position. Cannot emphasize that enough. It's so much harder to get a backhand in the perfect position than you would say a forehand. Looks like that one's gonna sail out of bounds as well. And I think we're gonna see a brief stoppage here for just a second.
As Auburn leads to try and claw back. They're on break point right now.
Yeah, they're making an emphatic statement here currently, up 40-0 for Murgett and McLean. And they got a chance here to close it out. Not quite yet though, another serve coming up.
Tried to get the positioning, just couldn't get it back over, and 4-3 on court 1.
Yeah, and that was an absolutely dominant series by Auburn that time. And I know a lot of people at home are like, wait a second, how can MTSU going from winning a game to losing one without scoring a point? Well, I think it comes down a lot to momentum. Like we mentioned earlier, if a team starts clicking together and they find something, it can be really hard for a team to stop them. And I think that's what we saw right there. Auburn finding the momentum, finding the strategy and the secret sauce, and making things happen.
Court 3 is the closest one to finishing in this doubles competition, 5-3 right now. I believe that's where we're going to send you because, well, actually, we're going to go over to court 2. It's a 4-3 advantage on courts 1 and 2, 5-3. So they are going to take us back over to court 3 with how close it is right now. It's 4-3 on courts 1 and 2. Court 3, again, the pairing of Edge and Stefan is looking like it's going to finalize here.
Yeah, it's been a great game here thus far, and it looks like Hollis and Edge trying to close this thing out. Not going to do it that time, though, that time with Edge, and I believe that'll make it 30-15 Auburn. MTSU currently with a 5-3 lead, and they're coming ever closer to closing this one out, and they can be the first puzzle piece to fit in for MTSU in this doubles point.
Auburn with the advantage.
And of course, you want to be the team to set the tone. You want to inspire your teammates.
High up, not the positioning that Edge and Hollis wanted there. And now Auburn has a chance to make it 5-4.
Yeah, too much elevation that time. We saw, I believe it was Edge hit, or actually it was Stefan Hollis, I believe, who hit the ball, kind of high-arced it. And as a player, that gives you more reaction time, better percentage shot, and that's what we saw from Auburn there.
You can hear the excitement in the ATC, getting down to the wire in doubles. Barely inside. Tried to dig it back, but couldn't get it inside. 40-30.
Yeah, dug too far that time, and now Auburn potentially digging themselves into a pit here, 40-30 with the lead, but MTSU, again, not quitting yet, and looks like may have had some more success over there on another court.
Still 4-3 on courts 1 and 2.
But you can see the teammates that time supporting one another. That's one thing I love as well. They're not just watching their game, they're watching the other games to see how they're going.
Service fault as MTSU tries to force the deuce. Had to dig to get it back in. Got it in perfect positioning. Deuce on the 5-3.
Yeah, Gene Deckerdorf would say fire the cannons because that was absolutely perfect. We saw the high arcing shot from Auburn and MTSU response with their own cannonball into the court, and that has now made it a deuce score, 40-40, and a chance for MTSU to take this one in this matchup between Hollis and Edge and Dubai and Giddens. Think about how impressive this has been too. MTSU down 15-40. It was 3-3 in this matchup after having a 3-1 lead. Imagine how sweet this victory would be.
Into the net, Auburn with the advantage on the deciding point.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tough one that time. Now, potentially, actually, I believe, going to do it again here. Maybe a chance for a second serve.
Court 1 having some cheering, see some excitement.
And I believe that closed it out. It did, so that was a second serve that we saw a second ago. So Hollis and Edge take the victory. Very nicely done, and congratulations to them. What a huge victory. What a way to claw back into it.
1-0 advantage in doubles right now for the Blue Raiders. It is 5-3 on court 1 right now, so that could potentially close it out. Court 3 is at 4-4, so they are going to take us over to court 1. Can Francisco and Oscar seal the doubles point? We're about to find out on the deuce.
Looks like Auburn indeed get the point there, so the Tigers live to fight another day, not quite done yet. And now it's going to make it 5-4. MTSU still the opportunity here, but you got to think they would have loved to have closed out the doubles point that early on and that quickly.
Advantage Auburn to try and force it to a 5-4. They actually update the scoreboard here with 15-0, still an advantage to the Tigers. Make that 30 low.
Yeah, our mistake. We thought it was actually just going to be 5-4 there, but still 5-3 MTSU lead, which gives them a little more breathing room. Now down 30-0, but still an opportunity here. MTSU doesn't have to sweat too much yet. They just have to know they got to get this thing done.
Herring, senior from Cornwall, England, and the junior from Holmfirth, Yorkshire. Both from England for the Tigers, and they're about to force it to a 5-4.
Yeah, now making it 40-0, and we saw how quickly they just went on the attack, and MTSU almost looked like they got caught off guard that time for Francisco and Oscar. Maybe a little bit winded from that last game. They put a lot into it, thinking it was the last one, and sometimes as a player you get in that mentality, you think that the game is over, and all of a sudden it's not over, and things change.
Roulette there.
Auburn chance here. This will be huge for them to make it 5-4.
Wide and outside, 5-4.
Game's not over yet, so that makes it ever closer for Auburn. They still are not done yet, but even so for MTSU, no need to panic, no need to be concerned. You still have all the pieces and all the things you need to close this out, but it does ramp up the intensity just that little extra bit.
And again, court 2, we'll send you to that in a little bit. Look at the efforts paying off for the marketing department for MTSU, as well as Coach Borendame and what they've done through the tennis program. All these people in here. It was about the same crowd at the Notre Dame competition earlier on, and it just continues to raise the bar here in MTSU tennis program.
Yeah, I love the fan base that we have. They are devoted and they recognize the passion and the level of pride they've got in this program. They can tell when a team wants to succeed, when they have that desire, and now they get to see that most every time on Friday nights. And I got to say, not much better than Friday night tennis. If I wasn't here as a broadcaster, I'd probably be here as a fan. So I can absolutely 100% relate to them. And for those watching at home, this is an experience you need to see and hear and see.
Court 1 action resumes. 5-4 advantage for the Blue Raiders as they try to shut out the doubles point, especially with Court 2 is a 5-4 advantage as well.
Looks like that one flew out of the box that time. So another opportunity coming up here. Francisco, we know how composed he is.
Perfect positioning, 30 love.
Perfectly done that time, right down the center, bullseye for MTSU, and that's going to add to this opportunity. And now I think they're starting to feel it. They can tell there's blood in the water for MTSU here. It's all about delivering that final blow.
Senior from Portugal, defending Player of the Year for Conference USA, showing why he's the defending Player of the Year. Tried to dig for there and couldn't do it. You see Chris Vasaro, the athletic director for MTSU, talking there. Announced, of course, the True Blue Give and the amount of improvements they're having on campus, including the on-campus tennis complex, as well as a hotel being built, upgraded football facilities and everything along those lines. A lot of interesting things happening for the athletics department here in MTSU, as one on your left, 2 on your right. You can see the excitement on Court 1. Court 2 trying to clinch it as well.
Yeah, both these games coming down to the wire, and as a fan, this is exactly what you like to see in terms of MTSU. 30-15, 5-4. Francisco and Oscar struggled in that last game, lost 70-0, but now an opportunity to close this out, up 30-15, and we'll see how they'll manage that. And over on the other side, of course, MTSU trying to retain success there as well.
30-15 for Francisco and Oscar. Hop, skip. And here comes the chance to clinch the doubles point against Auburn. 40-15.
Yeah, listen to the crowd now. They're fired up and they can sense it as well. They want to see this game become an MTSU rout. They've got a chance to go up 1-0 this doubles point. And as a player, these are the moments you live for, the opportunity to deliver a huge victory for your team, for your fan base. Let's see if they can get it done.
Service error there.
Here comes that second chance.
Oscar taking care of business. MTSU's got the doubles point.
Way to go, Francisco and Oscar. They take care of it, and now the Blue Raiders take the all-important doubles point, and that is going to be huge going in later in the game. And we talked about how important, how big this was going to be for MTSU and how challenging it would be. MTSU answered the call.
2-1. MTSU is now up 1-0 total in the match. Singles play coming up in just a few moments here on CUSA TV. Intense stuff in the doubles. Singles coming up here. We'll be back in just a few moments on MTN Sports.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet 4. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh! I'm going to that game.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Welcome back to the Adams Tennis Complex. MTSU clinched the doubles point, and now we head into singles, where the Blue Raiders collide with the 24th best team in the ITA rankings, the Auburn Tigers. Spencer Thompson, Dylan Simmons. Got an array of reporters for us all across the courtside, including Dan Eschenfelder. Some other personnel we'll probably see throughout the singles. So time to get us to court 3, but let's get you your singles lineups for the number 1 singles matchup. It's Janet versus Stein. Court 2, we got a matchup between Tyler and Francisco, and what you're seeing on your screen right now is, as they haven't updated the scoreboard from the doubles yet, but court 3 is between Tad and Chris. 4, we got Stefan and Raul. Court 5, you got Finn and Oscar, and then court 6 is Pavel and Nolan. And on court 3 here, Chris Edge, the ace for the Blue Raiders.
Yes, indeed, and of course you're seeing them warming up here, but MTSU has already had success against the doubles teams here early, and of course the singles matchups are going to be an entirely different animal, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Blue Raiders handle it, but the usual thing that you suspect is if you can have success in the doubles matchups and get the point there, then you usually should be able to take the victory in the singles matchups as well, but like I said before, it's an entirely different thing. We'll see how MTSU handles it.
First service of singles play, ruled outside.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to see how they'll take this here. Here comes that high arcing serve. Good recognition that time again to just let the ball go out of bounds. It's sometimes so hard as a player. You know, you watch it on TV and you're like, well, this kind of seems easy. But you sometimes have the temptation, the desire to just hit the ball. And it takes a lot of self-control and self-recognition to not do that.
Try to get it inside there. Of course, for those of you who might be new to the tennis game, as that goes outside, the inner lines are what indicate what's in and out on singles. With doubles, it was the full court there. It's the inner lines there. That's why you saw that one ball in the earlier play go far way outside. It looked like it may have been on the inside line.
Yes.
It wasn't doubles, singles.
And that means it's a lot less margin for error for MTSU and Auburn.
High and outside there. Talk about that margin for error, and it's now 30-all.
Yeah, now 30-all, so this game continues to tighten up ever closer. And for MTSU, you got to imagine that they're going to be trying, as we see the scoreboard get updated here in a second, and we'll have all the correct statistics here. Crucial game right now.
And the play site is set up right now for doubles play. I'm sure, there we go. Hedge and McLean, 30-all.
30-all here, and of course, Chris Edge, he has that mentality of a winner. Guy who wants to make sure he takes care of business, and he did that into great effect in his doubles matchup. Was a part of that first team to take the victory, and now he's got an opportunity to do the same here in singles. Chris Edge, much like the wrestler Edge, has that mentality of succeeding and winning when it truly matters.
And he's overly critical of the mistakes he makes too, because you see those services that he gets into the net or when he misplays, you could see the frustration on Chris's face. You could tell that he knows he could have done better. But he joy on his face from that one.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, you talked about him being a perfectionist, him wanting everything to go just perfectly. And, you know, in a way, I think it can be constructive for a player if you want to be the absolute best. And that's what I love about Chris Edge. He will not take no for an answer. He wants to do his absolute best on every play. That's the sign of a player who leaves it all on the court, and you love to see it from Chris Edge. Looks like he took another point right there, so that'll make it 40-30, I believe, for Auburn. or actually it may just be 1-0. We'll see in a second, but that's a very interesting matchup right now.
Yeah, Auburn takes it at 1-0. I believe that's the first of the competitions we have around singles play that has taken a set lead, as court 2 is coming up on your screen. That's a matchup between Tyler and Francisco here on court 2.
We saw the battle that Francisco and Oscar had in their doubles matchup earlier. You know, you got to wonder at some points how much did it take out of him. We'll see here for Francisco, but he's a guy with a great level of composure and conditioning.
As that goes high and outside. We saw that in the Notre Dame matchup where the doubles, it really had an issue for the Blue Raiders. You see action going here. Beautiful playback there by Francisco, but saw that in the matchup against the Fighting Irish, where the Blue Raiders they fought to the very last tie-breaking I believe it was a 10-point tie break in that contest with the Fighting Irish, and Stein was part of that team. In his singles, he just was not himself, and it shows how much the fatigue can play onto you when you go from the doubles to the singles.
Yeah, and especially on these Power 5 matchups, sometimes MTSU has to put out a lot more energy in those doubles games, and it can become harder to keep up that pace for so long in these singles matchups.
There's a mistake there made by Tyler, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia, on a 2-game winning streak in singles. As that is ruled outside, you can see blue in between the white line and the tennis ball on our screen at least.
Yes. Yeah, good angle right there as well. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Tennis is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and you have to be willing and able to keep up with that pace for a long time. You can't just run out all your options in 1 second. You can't just, paraphrase Goldberg this thing. You have to make sure that you get through all this and have a sustained attack planned for the entirety of the game. So we'll see how MTSU handles it, but they usually are willing and up to the task.
I don't even watch WWE that much, and you're in the Goldberg references.
I was at AEW on Wednesday night, so I've got wrestling on my mind right now.
That's right, AEW just happened in Nashville this week. Has a double fault there from Tyler. Not something you see often from him.
No, usually you don't see him make that kind of mistake here, but again, like we said, it's kind of evened up at the moment, 30-30, so this matchup is going to be really, it's up to anybody right now. It's whoever wants to take the initiative. And, going back to the atmosphere, I was at AEW Wednesday night, but I got to say this atmosphere is comparable just as much as it was the Municipal Auditorium. Love the fans out here we got right now.
Again, serves it again into the net. Tyler coming into college, he was the 5th highest American prospect for tennis as he gets the better of Francisco there, but he was the 5th best American prospect. He was #1 in the South in the recruiting phases there. So Tyler Stice, reason why Auburn got him, and he's performing fairly well.
Yeah, Tyler Stice is a very dynamic player, and he shows it every time he's out on the court. He's got such quick serves, as you saw right there, kind of went out of the back, but he's a guy, again, who is a national recruited guy for a reason. He's showing it right now. We'll see if he can warm up here.
That goes far and outside. Also, first team All-SEC. Last year he didn't get a doubles matchup in this one, but he clinched 6 doubles matches last year. That just shows how clutch of a player he is in tough situations.
Yeah, and that's, as a player, you want to have that clutch ability. You don't want the circumstances or the stakes to be too big. When you get to that point as a player, it's hard to perform at those high levels, and Stice is not a guy to do that. He's a guy who performs his best usually at those high levels.
Oscar versus Finn on your screen, the freshman versus the junior. As that goes far and wide, and already just as a freshman, Oscar has had such an incredible career here at MTSU. He's primarily started in the 6th position for him, but on doubles, he's impressive. He took his first singles loss in their last competition. That was against I believe last weekend, and it's the only singles loss. He's the only player for MTSU right now who's coming in with a losing streak on the singles, but he won 6 straight heading into that first loss.
Yeah, Oscar is a guy who's usually very, very consistent, and even with the performance early in the middle of the season, he's not a guy to be shaken easily, and he has gotten back into rhythm these last few games since that loss, and he's again showing why he is such a crucial part. And I gotta love the future of MTSU with this guy leading it forward. Again, it's just a freshman. He's already got those intangibles that older players would have.
As he serves it into the net there. His only loss in singles was versus Notre Dame.
Yes.
So not a lot of W's, unfortunately, for the Blue Raiders on that day. You see the back and forth here. Couldn't get to it.
Yeah, couldn't get to it that time. And, you bring up the loss to Notre Dame. And, even in spite of that, it's still impressive. MTSU, really, it is a national power in terms of tennis and what we've been able to do as a program here. I think that this team is, again, showing it and proving it, coming off some big wins recently against Virginia Tech and just beat Indiana in Bloomington. So they're showing they've got that national prowess within their veins. And again, I think we're seeing them playing at their best level. And at this point of the season, especially getting into Conference USA play, it's important to play at your best right now.
We called it out there, and not just beating IUB in Bloomington, 4-0 beating Indiana University of Bloomington.
Yeah, absolutely blanked Indiana. And again, the Virginia Tech game, 6-1 there too. So MTSU's playing with the big dogs and winning. And they've proven that here year in and year out and week in and week out. Trying to do it here one more time.
You could see there that Oscar was trying to get the angle on the corner and trying that backhand.
Yeah, I think that one came down to positioning. Oscar probably thought it was going to drift a little bit further out and tried to make a play on it maybe a little too early that time, and that led to that ball taking an odd angle out of bounds.
It's tough there, but at least for Oscar, he has a chance to regroup because plenty of sets left to go here in singles play as we're going to take you all around again. I like to compare it to NFL Red Zones, where we have several hours of commercial-free tennis as we take you to court 4 between Hollis and Dobai.
Hollis currently up with a 40-15 lead. Down on the score sheet 1-0, though. Opportunity to even up the odds here, and actually looks like he just did. So 1-1 now in Hollis and Dobai there. So that game gets evened up, and that's another crucial piece to fall for MTSU. And now we're going to see that third game begin to start here.
So let ruled there.
Watch how far back Hollis sits right here. Nicely done that time, and I loved his backhand. A lot of power and authority behind it. You could tell he had a lot of passion and energy thrown into that serve, and great job by Stefan.
And in singles right now, it's 1-1 in the first setup. Actually, why would I tell you about any of the individual scores when we have our amazing reporter Dan Eschenfelder to tell us that? Rocking the pink, Dan, and getting some updates.
Pinky Dan, yes, let's do this. So over on court 6, Pavel getting it done, wearing some pink on his wrist as well. He's up 2-0 and serving.
Much appreciated. So big updates there for MTSU.
Pavel against Notre Dame. He wasn't in his usual groove. He's having some. Has a good move there. That's a good move there by Rawl. But Pavel coming into today, won his first singles match. He hasn't. Yeah, Pavel is 2-5 on singles. Had a second victory in their last competition, which was at Bloomington. And I believe that was out. I'm not sure what they ruled that, but for Pavel, he's more. His strength is more on the doubles, but because the majority of the time he started at the 5 position, he's been moved down to 6, and he's just had a really difficult time trying to find his stride.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're early in the season, it can be hard to find that stride, to find that rhythm. Sometimes you see players, it takes them towards the end of the season to really get into their groove. Still trying to find that.
Tries to find that as it's 30-all on the 1-1.
Yeah, again, this game now 40-30, Dobai up on Stepan Hollis. So especially as this game gets further and further along, we're going to see this become all the more crucial. And see, a lot of these single scores, of course, with them being just started, it's going to be naturally close. But watch these scores as time goes on and keep an eye on how things go. Games early on don't seem like they mean that much, but they mean everything.
And right now, the only matchup that is seemingly getting out of hand is on court 5, as Finn is leading over Oscar 3-0 in singles, which is not the norm. But Oscar did take his first loss in singles versus Notre Dame. He's been in a slump recently, so maybe trying to find back his stride. But Finn Murgett is getting the better of Oscar.
Yeah, currently up 3-0 right now is Finn, so that's an absolutely crucial game. Oscar, though, not a guy to count out, and I'm sure these fans aren't going to count him out either.
Fans just as excited as anybody to see all of the action here from the ATC as we take you back to court 1, where Stein tries to even up sets.
Up against Galka right now, and we've talked about how good Galka is. An ITA singles ranked number 84 in the nation. A guy who isn't to be messed with overall, has a singles record of 5-2, and again, you got to remind yourself that's against some of the better schools in the nation. He's a guy with a lot of talent and a lot of ability, so he had to send Stein, had to send one of our best.
Not even that. Jan, he transferred from the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. He was the Sun Belt Player of the Week. He had several honors from there. As see the action here.
Nicely done that time by Stein. Huge one there to make it 30-0. And we're going to have a report coming up momentarily here from the sidelines.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have a familiar face. One of the instrumental pieces that made MTN Sports possible on the football broadcasting side, the tennis broadcasting side, all of that. He's going to kill me for building him up so much, but Mr. Will Stevenson is joining us now and getting a little bit of a reporting role, I believe.
Yes, sir, Spencer. It's nice to be back. I had to come in and drop in the bomb. Edge and Rocha both going up a break. Massive for this team. I love that they're getting Auburn, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, all these massive teams coming in the ATC. We hate to see that streak end against Notre Dame, but rebuilding it against teams like this, it's going to end up building up another one and another bigger name. I love seeing it.
Hopefully we'll hear more from Will later on in the day. But, Will, you also talked about last year you got to see this tennis team play through a pandemic, try to match up with all the different factors going in and such. How impressive is it to see the Blue Raiders defending their Conference USA Championship 2 seasons in a row, but not only that, to be 9-3 on the season?
Oh, man. I mean, when you've got Jimmy Borendame at the helm, how can you not do that? I mean, they've got such great scouting. Their team comes into the ATC and they dominate. They travel on the road and dominate. I mean, you just got a great staff all around and a great team. I don't see how they can set themselves up for a losing season anytime in the near future, especially with the new home being built here soon. It's just nothing but positivity coming soon for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, and especially for MTSU, again, as mentioned, 2-time defending conference champions, looking to go 3 straight, barring the 2020 season being cut short.
We need that three-peat, man.
Need to get the three-peat for sure. But let's talk about you saw him a little bit last year with the COVID extension. Oscar Poulsen is the latest freshman for MTSU. He's been a star in his own right and everything. How impressive has he been for you?
Oh, every time I come and watch them, man, he's the first court that I go to. His energy reminds me of Francisco. I love it. And by the time that he's a senior, maybe even turning into a fifth year, you never know. He's the guy that I'm going to be watching for these next couple years. He's going to be that face here in the next couple.
Should be special. Hopefully we'll hear from you from the rest of the day. But thank you for joining us, Will.
Thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, always nice to hear from him, and I love his insight as well. You can tell this is a guy who's well-versed in the tennis landscape.
Yeah, and especially for MTSU, the one of the instrumental pieces that made MTN Sports possible. On the football broadcasting side, the tennis broadcasting side, all of that. He's going to kill me for building him up so much, but
Yeah,
the pioneer for MTN Sports. Slum and Galka tied at 2. Auburn on the serve. Stein just couldn't dig it out of there.
Yeah, and as we were talking there, we saw Galka kind of get an advantage back up. 2-2 game right now, and with that, it makes it 15-0 against Stein. Stein is now running into a little bit of issues with what Galka's been throwing at him. But, of course, we know how dangerous and how quickly Stein can turn the tide. Question is, how is he going to change up the strategy here?
Going to come up with something and come up with it fast. Has down 30 love.
That one tips in the net, and so not going to be in the box. But we know Stein is a master of adjustment, of reinvention. He's like Chris Jericho, and he can reinvent himself at a moment's notice. If he needs to change up his style, he'll do just that. And I think that's what we're going to see him do here.
Chris Edge trying to go up a double break on court 3. He's leading 4-1. Francisco up 2-1. As you're seeing right now, of course, it tied 2-all in the first set. Court 4, it's tied 2-all between Raul and Stefan. It's a 4-1 advantage. Oscar starting to fight back on court 5, and Pavel up 3-0 in that first section, and MTSU has the upper hand.
Yeah, and that just shows that, as we'll see the action here, and nice job there for MTSU and for Stein, but that just shows that MTSU has the advantage right now, and they've got the opportunity to strike. And we talked about it earlier, but imagine how big a victory, especially against a nationally ranked team like Auburn, would be.
And right now they have enough, with the advantages right now, they have enough points to justify being able to get that W.
We know Galka's not going to go quietly, though.
Trying not to go quietly, but services that one short.
See how far back Stein is playing this one. Shows how much and how much power Galka puts into it.
Back and forth action. Stein, just too much power on it.
Yeah, a little too much sauce on that one, and that'll make it 3-2 Auburn in that matchup, which means that one will be one to watch. We'll see if MTSU can regain the upper hand, but now these matchups become all the more critical.
As they're going to try to right now, as we're looking for the court action that we're going to get to you again. Again, right now, Edge and Finn are the clear leaders for either teams right now. And we actually are going to take you over to court 5, I believe, for the first time in singles play as Finn and Oscar collide. Oscar was down 3-0. He's trying to fight back in this first set.
Yeah, we saw Merchant in the doubles matchup, ended up taking a loss. And we'll see how Oscar handles this one. And I believe Oscar got that point. You can tell by the fist pump there that he's pumped up, excited, and that, again, is a huge point there for Oscar. And we talked about, I believe he was down 3-0 earlier, but looks like he's starting to make a little bit of a comeback, as I believe we're about to have another report here momentarily from the man of many caps, Mr. Dan Eschenfelder himself.
Hey, just came over from court number 3. I don't know if you guys reported this already when the score updated, but Edge getting it done. Chris Edge getting it done on court number 3. He's now serving for the first set, 5-1.
Looks like Chris Edge is doing the same thing a few weeks ago about that Coach Bornday mentioned of he's just wanting to get done and watch his teammates try to get their victories in singles. Edge not messing around with Tad.
No, he's not, and like we said, Chris Edge, he's got that mentality. He wants to get this thing done immediately. I've noticed that with a lot of his games, he gets it done quickly and precisely. Gotta love the mentality Chris Edge has every time he steps out onto the tennis court.
Tad, the senior from Cornwall, England, as I believe they rule that out of play. Tad has 53 total wins in singles, and it's good to see him back. And this year and last, he missed the 19-20 season due to surgery. As see the action there from Oscar.
Yeah, and we're about to head over to that matchup between Chris Edge and McLean, so it's going to be interesting to see how Edge is doing. But, of course, with the 5-1 margin of victory right now for Chris Edge, I think we got an idea of how things are going over there.
Just a little bit, maybe a little bit of an idea, but Again, just to give you an update here, we'll talk about that once we see this. Edge, clear service, and I believe they ruled that a let.
Yeah, they will. Here comes that second serve.
That goes out of play. Again, on court 1, Jan is leading Stein 3-2. Court 2, Francisco is leading Tyler 2-1. Court 3, as you see here, 5-1 advantage. Chris trying to take that first set. And court 4, Rawl leading over Stepan 3-2. Finn leading over Oscar 3-2, and a 3-1 lead for Pavel over Will on court 6. So very heavily favored MTSU in all of these first sets.
Yes, indeed. And of course, with that current advantage, that means that the current tiebreaker would be the doubles point, which again, MTSU has.
Servicing back and forth, and that one's going to go out of play. Looked like when it was serviced back over to Notre Dame's side that it could have gone either way. You could have called it in or out there with how close it was, and just allowed it to play out. And now Edge trying to get the better of Tad here and close out the first set. Got it on the line, and Edge 6-1 potentially.
Yes, indeed. That was absolutely huge by Chris Edge. Again, nothing to be scared of. He absolutely clobbered that, and I believe that will result in a switching the sides, and potentially close to being a game winner there for MTSU.
Yeah, as another great move by Chris Edge as MTSU is swapping things around. Let's get you over to court 2, where MTSU once again at Francisco battling with Tyler right now. As you can see, it's a deciding point here. See who's going to take the advantage in the first set.
2-2 matchup, 40-40. So this is about as close as you can get, folks, right here between these two opponents. Let's see who can get the advantage first.
A let there with it bouncing off the net.
Now all the pressure goes to Stice to deliver a clean and accurate serve here.
Stice tried to fight for it. Francisco gets it done. 3-2.
Yeah, he hit him with that shake and bake that time. He went to the left and faked right and absolutely clobbered that ball onto the line, and MTSU takes a 3-2 advantage. Nicely done, Francisco Rocha. And now here comes Mr. Dan Eschenfelder with another report.
Yeah, you pretty much said it right there. You said Francisco, right?
Yes,
Did you beat me to it?
Yeah,
Okay,
believe so.
Did you know, though, that it was a break and then a break and then a break?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I have nothing to report here then. Bye-bye.
We have made his job invalid. Sorry about that, Mr. Dan. But, you know, we just talked about how close that matchup has been. I think this has been the most entertaining and at least the closest matchup we've had so far.
As we're still showing action here from the break between Rocha and Stice, I believe they're going to get us somewhere else here and continue to bounce around throughout the rest of the action here in the ATC. Let's go back to the aces in Stein and Jan.
Another close matchup here, 3-3. Galka currently up on Stein's slump. We'll see how Stein counters here. Really entertaining matchup again. And again, as that score gets higher and higher, these games become more and more crucial.
Tried to dig there, Stein did.
Yeah, tried to dig for some gold, could not quite get it out that time. And I believe that might have been, we'll see, I believe that could have been the game. Well, not the entire game, of course, but potentially the point. Nope, actually it will be instead another serve here for Galka.
Three all, Auburn on the serve.
Looks like that one went out of bounds. So second serve coming up now for Galka.
(40-30).
Nice.
Right on the line by Stein.
That's going to bring us to dues. That was delicious like Chick-fil-A chicken. What a job that time by Stein Slump right on the line. You saw how he just absolutely walloped that one again. Stein Slump showing out and showing his precision and his great decision-making on the court.
Is it wrong to say is it wrong that I have to say that's the second time I've heard someone use delicious on a broadcast? That's the second time. I had a buddy, a broadcast partner of mine a few years ago. I've had someone use that to describe a good play. Bringing out all the references and verbiage. Credit to Dylan Simmons.
Much appreciated. And we're going to see how this one finishes up right here. This is going to be a huge turning point for either one of these guys.
40 all.
Can feel the intensity. Got it. What a job by Stein Slump. Got us the benefit of a little bit of a low shot that time, but now Slump takes a 4-3 lead. That was absolutely huge.
4-3 advantage for Stein Slump, and now we're heading over to court 6, which we've seen a little bit from the singles action here. Court 6 right now. Pavel has a 4-1 lead over Will as Will Nolan tries to get back in. Will Nolan has not lost a singles match to this point. He's ranked the number 3 junior in England. He hails from Derbyshire. Let's see if Will Nolan can dig himself out of this one.
Looks like that one tapped off the net. And for Pavel, this would be an absolutely huge in terms of his resume and a confidence booster going into the rest of the season.
And we can confirm for you on court 3 as that goes out of play. We can confirm on court 3 they are done with the first set. Chris Edge takes it 6-1 over Tad. He's a 1 set away from getting point number 2 for the Blue Raiders.
And you noticed how it took a little bit of time, a little bit longer than you'd expect to get that first point. That shows that all these games are very hotly contested, very tightly contested, and both of these teams are having to play long sequences, and that's going to factor more into that fatigue that we're going to see later on.
Pavel tried to fight for it. Will Nolan got the better of him.
Yes, he did. Into the net that time for Pavel. One thing that he's kind of had an issue with sometimes is the ball going into the net, kind of those lower hits. And I can attest, that's hard as a player sometimes to overcome. You're trying to just hit it in that perfect technique. You don't want to hit it too hard, so you almost hit it too soft. You kind of get that fear in your mind. Pavel's a guy, though, that he's not going to let that affect him too much. And, again, it's just going to be about adapting and overcoming that difficulty to make yourself a better player.
Again, Pavel's main strength, doubles. He's all Conference USA first team doubles last year. See if he can pull out a singles win. Get a 2-game winning streak going. High and outside.
Yeah, Nolan kind of hit that one middle range there with his racket. And again, something we haven't talked about today, placement of the racket too. You know, you got the outside edges, the hard edges. You don't want to hit it. You want to make sure you hit it right there in the center. And I think we kind of saw it where that affected Nolan's shot that time.
What you got for us, Dan?
I got Chris Edge for you. Chris Edge is getting it done over there. He won the first set 6-1, got a breadstick on the guy. But he also took that momentum into the second set. Just broke. He's now serving 1-0.
Chris Edge trying to get done.
Yeah,
trying to get out of here.
He's getting it done. He's like, I'm going to the showers, man. I'm going to get this thing done and over with.
Got another thing for us, Dan?
No, I was just going to say he must have a hot date. He's got to get out of here.
You and Coach Borendame convinced on that, too, from good callback to the interview had with him, post-match interview we had with him a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a fun interview, and of course, we've documented this tennis team a lot here with MTN News and MTN Sports. Ever seen the documentary Lightning Strikes 25 Times? It details that streak, and we've got some new projects working on with the tennis team as well that are going to be great, and we hope you guys will give that a look as well.
Lightning struck 33 times straight for that historic win streak. That it'll take a long time for that to be at all be matched by any other teams. But go back to court 1 between Stein and Jan.
Stein has kind of flipped the script on this one. He was down early, now 4-3, chance to make it 5-3.
And you could see that Jan wanted that one back.
I love the way Stein has adapted in this game. You know, sometimes as a player you can psych yourself out when you're down, but Stein, he didn't panic, he didn't get frustrated at himself. He instead looked at what he had, looked at the situation he had, and he's made the most of it. You got to love that resiliency and that tenacity we're seeing from Stein Slump.
Stein 5-3 total on singles. As you see Stein into the net there. Stein's 5-3 on singles. He's got a 2-game winning streak coming into today. For all of the times he has been on singles, he's the #1 guy. He's the guy Coach Borendame trusts. His only large loss was against the Fighting Irish. The other 2 losses he has on his singles records, they were within a few points on the set.
Yes, indeed they were. And again, like you said, Mr. Jimmy Borendame, he trusts Stein with a lot of this team's responsibility, and that's why he's such a leader here on the court.
And I believe I'm not sure yet, they'll likely take us to court 5 in a little bit, where Finn is up 5-3, potentially going to clinch that first set over Oscar. But at least for now, we'll still have Stein and Jan in the action there.
And it's now 5-3 over there, so Stein, again, gets ever closer to getting that first point in that set, and that could potentially lead to MTSU getting another point overall here in this matchup.
Stein getting close and missed the chance to get the ball there. Just a fast service from Jan.
Yeah, that looked like a baseball off the bat that time with how quick it was, and Stein barely had time to react enough. Kind of just hung his racket out there to dry, but just couldn't come up with it.
Jan on the serve. Couldn't get the trajectory in the right format.
Yeah, that one kind of high arced outside the right hash marks and ended up leading into a 15-all tie now. You know, I maybe didn't expect a science lesson here today, but you know, there's a lot of physics that go into tennis, and you know, for those of you who know your physics a little bit better, you can see that outside on the court. It really is science in motion. That one goes into the net, but there's so much that goes into it, and these players know that as well. Velocity, the time you hit it, the position you hit it. So much of that is down to understanding the concepts.
Back in the net. Stein tried to service it back over. I believe they'll update the score to 30-15.
I believe you're right, so that's going to give Auburn, and yes, and that indeed it will. So 30-15 Tigers there with Galka up on Slump. Of course, Stein's been down, I think, in a majority of these singles matches, but it seems like he always finds a way to claw his way back whenever he's down, finds a way to come up with the ultimate victory. And he doesn't have to sweat too much right now. With that advantage comes a little bit more leeway in the way of mistakes, and he can play a more comfortable game.
Stein can't get it in there, 40-15.
Even still, you want to get it done here early, and now it's 40-15. So Galka, again, not quite done with Stein yet. And this game continues and extends.
See the fans there again. We got several matchups we're going to queue up here. I believe it's going to be courts 1 and 5, with those being clinched. Or actually 1 and 6 with Pavel and Stein both on the chance to clinch. See Pavel on your right there with court 6, and see the score for Slump at court 1 on your left. And both of these matchups, chance to get the first set clinched.
Yes, indeed, and of course that's going to give another opportunity for MTSU here, as we'll see that serve given to Stein.
Stein with the angle, 40-30.
That was beautiful artistry right there. And again, he makes it ever closer now, 40-30. And a game that looked to be all but lost, Stein has found his way back. Question is, can Stein finish the job and overcome this deficit here? First serve doesn't go into the net, and again, a lot of times players use those first serves as a way to decide what they're going to do with the second serve. So often why you don't see that first serve go in. Here it comes.
Here's the service back, high and outside.
Yeah, and that should do it for that game. So Galka takes victory there, and now it'll be 5-4. Stein still with the lead, but again, that just puts more pressure on Stein to get it done in these next 2 games. Still an opportunity, though, and no reason to panic.
And I believe we're going to get action back to court 6, just to make it full screen on there. Again, Pavel just this close to clinching that first set and getting MTSU closer to a victory. So again, full screen, Will Nolan and Pavel Model.
Again, Pavel has had a great day today, has been able to come up with a lot of clutch plays here so far, and trying to get a momentum-building win to kind of get his season on track to where it needs to be. A great player and looking for that seminal victory right here.
Chris Edge leading in the second set 2-1. None of the other singles matches have gone to the second set yet. We're getting closer and closer to it, but none of them have gotten close. Court 5 is now 5-4 Oscar. Yeah, court 5, I believe that's where we're going to head to in a moment, where Finn is still fending off Oscar. It was, I believe it was 5-2 or 5-3 in the first set there, and now 5-4 is the advantage for Finn over Oscar.
And I got to admire Oscar here as well. I believe it was also 3-0 earlier Oscar was down, so he had no points, nothing in the way of momentum, and now all of a sudden he is down just 1 game, and you can see gesturing to the crowd, he's feeling it, he's excited, and he knows he's found something. And I think as a player, you get that feeling at a time when you know something is going right for you.
You can see the action here in Oscar. You see that wrap around his wrist, fighting an injury. As that goes into the net, benefit for Oscar.
That was absolutely huge, and that'll tighten it up even more. And I believe we'll see what the official update is, but that could make it somewhere close at least to 5-5.
So I believe they're going to take our action back to court 1. Stein and Jan fighting over there as it's a 5-3 advantage for Stein. He's trying to close it out here. He's leading 30-love.
And
Dan.
Yes, we got an update from the man himself.
I mean, it's not really all that interesting, but over on court number 2, Francisco, they just continue to just keep breaking each other. I'm calling it the court of no holds, or maybe the no holds bar, or what do we call this? It's now 4-4. Finally, somebody actually got a hold, and luckily that was Francisco. It's 4-4, Auburn serving.
Tied up all there on court 2, and again here, Slump leading 30-15. He just dropped 15 there.
Here comes that rocket arm.
Stein a little too aggressive on that. You saw the racket come out of his hand too.
Yeah, I think the racket came out of his hand there early and kind of pushed the ball away from where he wanted. And, you know, the grips on the rackets, folks, it's, again, another small thing that you probably don't think about all that often. But I can tell you, as a player, your hands get hurt a lot as you get going farther in the game. I remember having blisters on my hands after I play. And right now, you're hurting as a player. You're trying to overcome and get through that pain threshold. And grips can be so important. And when you lose the racket, you can see what happens. It disorients your ball and it gives up points that you just do not want to give up.
30-all.
Looks like that one's going to charge into the net, but like I said earlier, you're kind of just experimenting with this first serve, trying to hit a fastball in there. Now here will come the second serve.
Stein. Tries to get it in the corner, right on the line. They ruled it out.
Yeah, too far. Now 40-30 Galka. And now these points become all the more important and crucial as the break point has been achieved here for Galka. And now if he can get this point here, it's going to be all the more important, as got another great update from the man himself, Mr. Dan Eschenfelder.
Court 5, just came from court 5. Oscar just finally got a break. It was survive time. He was down 4-5. He survived. It is now 5-5. He is now serving.
As Slump ties it up 40-all.
Crucial time that time by Stump, and now 40-40 in that matchup, and Oscar again achieving 5-5. What a comeback for him after a 3-0 deficit down. He has now won 5 of the last 7, and I'm loving what I'm seeing on all sorts of courts now, and a chance for Stein to close it out, and nobody I trust more with the serve.
Stein Slump on the deuce. Jangalka can't do anything about it.
Stein Slump takes it. What a great job that time. What a rocket serve. That one went all the way to the moon, and now it's 6-4 for him, and that'll give MTSU their first, another point there in terms of the overall matchup and a chance to close it out in the next set.
All right, let's get you updates all around as we get over to court 2. Again, Stein Slump, you saw, just clinched there. 6-4, he leads 1-0 in the set. On court 2, which we're on right now, tied 4-4 in the first set. Court 3, Chris Edge is just having his way with Tad McLean. It's now 3-1 in the second set. Chris Edge trying to finish things out there and get MTSU's second point. On court 4, Rawl gets the only set victory thus far for Auburn. 6-4 over Stepan Hollis. Court 5, it's a 5-4 victory, looking like it's getting closer for Auburn to get the victory in the first set if Oscar can't force it to the tiebreak. And Pavamodl 6-2 on court 6, so we're getting closer and closer to not only the second point overall for MTSU, but getting closer to the first set. It's being completely finished.
Deciding point here between Rocha and Stice.
Player of the Year, fighting for it. Back and forth, the opportunity. Player of the Year.
Showed exactly why right there, and he's going to get a nice loop from Coach Jimmy right there. What a job by Rocha. He makes it 5-4, and what a heavyweight bout that was. They went back and forth, and you love to see both players giving it their all. Truly shows why we love seeing the game of tennis.
Now leads 5-4, chance to get that first set victory as we're going to take you around to some more action around the ATC. I believe they're going to take us over to court 3 as we're seeing Edge actually dropped another set. He's up 3-2 right now over Tad.
And again, he's one of the few players that was in the second set for the longest time. And again, Chris Edge, he's a guy who likes to get his business and get it done early, and now he's showing some more of those soccer skills. You saw him kick the ball up right there. One thing interesting to note about Edge is that he's a lefty, and that's something unique for a player to take on. As you could see right there, second serve coming up, and I believe we'll be heading to court 2 here momentarily, but we'll stay with this action for the moment.
Might be the last action that we see for Chris Edge today, just because of how dominant he is performing. He might be finished before we get a chance to catch another moment with him. It's now 3-2, getting closer and closer to a 4-2 advantage for Chris to go up a break.
Yeah, he's showing Tom Brady-like dominance out here on the court today with how he has been able to just absolutely take care of business. Love that mentality, love the approach, and we're seeing it from Chris Edge.
You could see Chris frustrated with that as it went high and outside. And it looks like they're going to resume play over on court 2. So the 4-all matchup, we're about to see that between Tyler and Francisco.
Yep, Rocha currently up with a 5-4 advantage and an opportunity to close this out. We saw the absolute battle he had to endure to get it to 5-4, and now an opportunity to get it to the second set with him up 1-0. And looks like, I believe he was unable to get that one in. Kind of said it was actually, no, he did get it 15-0, so nice play by Rocha that time.
And we can update this for you as well. On court 4, Rawl gets the first set victory over Stefan 6-4, as well as Finn gets the victory over Oscar 6-4. So Auburn has the advantage on 2 courts right now, the 1-0 set lead, but for MTSU, they have the advantage on 1, 2, 3 courts, which would get them the victory of the match.
Yeah, as long as everything holds.
Here's Francisco.
Not quite, so that makes it 15-all. And like you said, if everything holds, everything should be fine. But again, it's such a quick game, and things can change at such a whim. And Rocha has not clinched this series quite yet. MTSU did clinch the first sets in a couple of games, and they're looking to get this all-important third one right here. And as Rocha now, there's a lot of pressure on him to deliver But again, Rocha's a guy who's used to the bright lights. He's used to the spotlight. Former Conference USA Player of the Year. Going to try to prove it here.
Especially with he's only been in the #1 position this year 3 times. His only loss in singles comes from being in the #2 position. He's on a 4-game win streak.
Now
he's trying to finish it out here, but gets a mistake there.
Yeah, a big one too. That one was 2 straight into the net, so that'll give Rocha an automatic point to Stice that time. Tough break for Rocha, and of course that's something that he doesn't want to do, especially in this close of a matchup. But again, you just got to put it behind you and not let it stay within your mind, because if you let plays like that inhabit space rent-free in your mind, it's going to be a lot harder for you to overcome it.
Chris Edge up a break now, 4-2 in his second set. Again, trying to finish things out early. And on court 6, Will Nolan has gone up 1-0 in the second set. At least 2 matchups are now in second set play here in singles. And what a play from Francisco.
That was amazing. Again, another nice corner shot that is just undefendable if you're Stice. That was perfectly, expertly crafted by Francisco Rocha. And that was an incredible job. And now again, I'll make it 30-30. That's what makes those plays and what makes Francisco Rocha so special.
Hop, skip, and try to get it past the line. Couldn't get it.
Yeah, got past him that time as he was trying to play up on the net. And again, you're kind of playing with fire in that scenario as you're trying to overcome the odds and not let the ball get past you. But, you know, if the player can respond, that's when things get a little bit more difficult, as we saw for Rocha there. And now we've reached a break point, which makes this next play all the more important for Rocha. Trying to close it out, but again, Stice will not quite go away.
You can see again, he's faced less break points, but he's got the better overall percentage. Service there, out of play.
Second chance serve, and again, Rocha already gave up 1 point due to serves. Got to be careful here.
Francisco just barely in play, couldn't get it over.
No, and that'll make it 5-5. So that means this next game is going to be do or die for the first set between these two. And of course, we need that. If you're MTSU, you need that all-important third game to go to the second set to have the advantage. And now Rocha, who's dropped 2 straight, has even more pressure to deliver.
In this matchup here, we're staying here because this is the only competition that has not gone into the second set yet. All the rest of them have gone for that again. Pavel finished out 6-2 in the first set. Finn finished 6-4. Wall 6-4. Edge is leading 4-2 now in his second set. He's up a break there. And
big early score for Rocha there.
And Jan is up 1-0 in the second set on court 1.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. You saw Rocha take a 15-0 lead at that early score. And like I said, that means this is the money one, right? This is the one that's going to be the deciding factor. As Terrell Owens would say, audience, let's get your popcorn out because this is going to be the entertaining game to watch here.
Funny to think, even with this singles matchup, that they may retire it if the rest of the matches go final. Or the rest of the games go final, I should say.
That one flies out. Yeah, that potentially could be the case depending on how the other games finish out. But also you got to think, too, if this game ends up in a 3-3 tie, this could be the deciding game depending on how things shake out. And, of course, it's already been a marathon game so far. You can imagine the exhaustion these players might be feeling towards the end of it.
Here's the 15-all. Outside 30-15.
Big play by Rocha that time. Hit it right on the back line. So little margin for error, but he did a great job of just placing it perfectly once again. That's a tactician play and a great job by Rocha. He takes a 30-15 lead. Again, Stice serving here. Crucial mark.
Well, it just bounced inside, still playing it. Couldn't get it over.
Yeah, couldn't quite collect that, and that should make it 30-all. I don't know if the scoreboard's updated yet, but that will make it 30-all, I believe, between these two, Rocha and Stice. And again, this game, it's like these two just can't conquer one another. They just keep finding ways to tie it up, and, well, now showing, okay, there you go, 30-all. So, again, that shows just how close this game is. As close as this can be, 5-5, 30-all. And we'll see who's going to blink. It's going to be about who blinks first, who makes the first mistake.
Looked like Francisco could have ruled that serve out on the line. Chose not to. It's now 40-30.
Yeah, he might have decided he was better off to play it and test his luck, but it actually ended up backfiring on him. And this one, folks, there's no understating how huge this is. Again, if Auburn takes this, that would put them in position to win. If MTSU gets this first set, that will be huge for their desires to win. Here we go.
See a little bit of a delay there. Cisco deals it back. Outside. And with that, Tyler Stice has a 6-5 lead. I believe it's a 2-set lead in that, with it being the first set. So for that, of course, Francisco has a chance to force it to a potential 10-point tiebreak, but it's going to be tough right now.
Yeah, that one was an absolute heartbreaker there for Rocha there, as he tried everything he could and had a 5-3 lead, but a tough loss there. Still an opportunity potentially to turn things around, but a big one, no understating how crucial that was.
As we take you over to second set action with Jan and Stein, where Jan has a 1-0 lead right now. As they haven't updated it, it says 6-4 on the scoreboard there. They have it configured there. It's actually 1-1, I guess.
Yeah, looks like according to the scoreboard is 1-1. Galka with the 15-0 advantage. Stein, of course, had a lot of success in that first set. One of the guys to give MTSU an early first set victory. Now an opportunity to give them an entire point, and curious as well how the Chris Edge matchup will be going. And of course, MTSU trying to get that second point here.
And actually, Chris Edge has dropped a few sets. He's now only leading 4-3 over Tad McLean. Came out strong, and is now getting to a closer set difference here as we continue to look at Stein and Jan.
Another one sunk that time by Galka, 30-0, and another bullet shot right down the court. And perhaps the worm has turned in this one between MTSU and Auburn. It was MTSU who had the dominant start early, but it seems like Auburn has just found out more and more about them as time has gone on. And this game is starting to get a little bit more, there's a lot more tension, let's just say that, here in the Adams Tennis Complex.
They're now showing why they're the 24th highest ITA team in collegiate men's tennis. As you see Galka just drop one there.
Yeah, nice job by Stein there. Put it again in the perfect position. I've loved Stein's play style here so far. He's been able to put the ball exactly where it needs to go. And again, that's what he did that time against Galka, is he tried to scoop it up, but there was nothing that could be done about that one. And that again gets it to 30-15. We'll see what Stein's got in store now.
Again, 1-1 here in the second set. It's 4-all now on court 3. Edge has got to get 2 sets to close it out as that service goes off the net. It's 1-all in the second set for Stepan and Raul. 1-all in the second set for Finn and Oscar, and a 2-0 advantage for Will Nolan over Pavel Model. So now turning into the favor of the Tigers. It's Jan. High and outside.
Yeah, just out of bounds there. Looked like it might have a chance to be in that time for Slump, but that'll make it 40-15 as he just couldn't slice it in. Again, tennis is a game of inches, folks, and where you place the ball and where it lands is so close, so little margin for error. Again, these are the best at what they do, and so when you're trying to do that, you have to put it in these risky positions where they may not be able to take a chance and cannot play it safe, especially when you're playing this level of competition.
Again, an all singles play for the Tigers. Rawl is the only player who has a losing streak. Everyone else on a winning streak. As this bounces off of the net, and
I believe he got it. Let's see.
Yeah, not sure what they updated on there. It looked like he may have had it. Hard to see from our angle because of where it bounced on the net.
Yeah, he kind of clanged off the net that time, and let's see. Yeah, he did get it. So a lucky break that time for Stein. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. Sometimes you got to get those lucky breaks to get your way back into the game. But hey, sometimes weird things like that happen. Galka taking his time, and looks like he's going to motion back up. Now he'll head back to the serving area. Using that rhythm.
Inside, good dig there. Trying to go for it, tried to dig and couldn't get back up.
Yeah, Stein, man, what a great effort that time. He was on the ground trying everything he could, but just couldn't get it done.
And Jan Galka will take the advantage 2-1 in the second set there as we take you for action over on court 3 once again as Tad and Chris. Again, Chris right now, he's now down 5-4 in here, and it could potentially be forcing it to the third and final tie-breaking set.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it was 4-1 earlier, so this game was all but decided, it looked like, but got to give it to McLean, who has somehow found his way back into this one, and that's not easy to do against Chris Edge. But sometimes when you try to get it done very quickly, it can come back to get into your head if you let it go too long, so things are definitely changing here.
And did they call that out? That'll be the question when it updates on the scoreboard. But
I think we see McLean motioning that he scored that one. Let's see here. We'll take a look in a second, but regardless, again, that shows how close it is between these two. But obviously McLean and Auburn themselves have really adapted, and it is amazing to see just how all these scores are converging at once.
Servicing back and forth. Trying to hit there, and I guess they called it a lead. It looked like it was inside.
Yeah, I actually think they may have called it out there a series or so before, did Chris Edge potentially, and maybe just hit it back on instinct, as it looked like it was just inside the green, but that was from my vantage point. Hard to say for sure.
As they service it back and forth here. Tried to get it in on the corner and couldn't get it.
No, just couldn't. You saw he was trying to go for the corner shot again, but would not go in the pocket for MTSU. And now again, that just means this game becomes all the more crucial. And not sure the exact score at the moment between these two, but you got to imagine getting down to crunch time between McLean and Edge, and probably not much more margin for error. And if they can get a 1-1 tie in this set, boy, how crucial would that be?
Good curl in, and Edge couldn't get to it.
No, he could not. And again, that just shows, and I believe that might have done it, that indeed it has. So 1-1 now in a set that looked to be all but done for MTSU. And again, that just shows how quickly and and concisely things have changed.
It's definitely changed to shift the narrative. Again, Chris Edge was up, and now it's a 1-1 tie heading to the tie-breaking set there as we take you back over to Oscar and Finn. As you can see on the score there, Finn got that 6-4 advantage, and now Oscar has the advantage 2-1 here in the second.
Yeah, Oscar currently with a 2-1 lead here in this one, trying to reverse the narrative from the first game. Oh, what a play that time. You heard the audience reaction. He just scooped it over, and now he's fired up and has every right to be. What a play. Always great to see when players just can find that extra groove and can see something that can distract the other player. I love when players are able to use their minds to their advantage, and Oscar, of course, doing that on that play right there. Great job.
Oscar's been in these clutch situations before. And the freshman from Helsingør, Denmark. Again, he took his first loss in singles against Notre Dame. He was 6-0 singles play. He's trying to change the narrative here. He's got a tough matchup here because he's having to fight back and force it to the tie-breaking set.
Yeah, lost to Finn in that first set, 6-4. Trying to reverse the narrative.
As I believe that went into the net with the hop, skip, and a jump, a play side there.
Again, it isn't all doom and gloom for MTSU. Still time to reverse the games here.
As I believe that was high and outside. Here's your latest scoring updates in the second set. 2-1 advantage for Jan over Stein. As we mentioned, it is 6-5 right now on court 1. They're in a break. We might be able to get action back then on court 2. They haven't gone to the second set yet. It is 5-4 in favor of Tad on court 3 over Chris. Raw leads 2-1 in the second set over Stepan. And court 5 is a 3-1 advantage for Oscar over Finn, trying to force it to a 1-1 tie there. And 4-0 advantage in the second set for Will Nolan over Pavel Model. He's trying to force it 1-1. Notre Dame not going down without a fight.
Yeah, and Auburn continues to, and there you see a big celebration for Oscar. I believe he got that point there, so nicely done again. And I love the back and forth action we saw between those two there. Again, Oscar is a guy who's going to keep playing until the very end. He's going to try everything he can to get that ball over the net and take out the opponent, so nicely done that time by Oscar.
The Tigers of Auburn, for the first time in the Adams Tennis Complex, putting on a show. Courts 1 through 6. And a good move there as Oscar got the better there of Finn.
Yeah, and as Brad Nessler once said, I don't know if the MTSU fans currently like the show as they're trying to claw their way back in. But again, like I said, not all doom and gloom for MTSU. Still time to overcome what has taken place here. It's one thing you got to remember, with 3 sets, there's still a lot of room for error for Auburn. And for MTSU, that means all the better for them. But again, there is no understating just how quickly the overall tone has changed.
Here's Oscar. That one couldn't get it back over.
Yeah, that one into the net that time. And again, we kind of see Oscar having one of those moments where you just kind of lose the ball and it just kind of falls into the net. So not able to quite get it where he wanted to go. Gonna have to regroup here. Looks like they're going to rule that one out. Just missed it, and that would have been an absolutely huge serve if he could have gotten it. I don't know if there was anything Mergit could have done about that one.
Oscar.
What a play that time by Mergit. Sliced and diced it and hit it right into the box. And I think Broshner Polson wasn't expecting the spin that time. Hit him with the old spin doctor with the shot. And again, nothing that Oscar could do. And again, this game just continues to get all the more interesting. Oscar still with the advantage, but Auburn again just will not go away.
And we can actually give you an update from court 3. Tad 6-4. Chris Edge has been forced to the third tie-breaking set.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if as well Chris will be able to find his way back through. I think second set losses sometimes are things that are kind of aren't too critical, as we see that play go out of bounds, I believe.
Yeah, it's high and outside.
And I don't know if Oscar was too happy with that one, maybe frustrated at himself, but regardless of that fact, like we were discussing with the Chris Edge game, that one's going to be all the more crucial because he looked so dominant in the first set, and all of a sudden things changed, and now it's going to be all the more crucial to see how he'll do in the third set.
Absolutely. And we're going to take it back to Jan and Stein on court 1 as we see that matchup getting closer and closer to each, as Jan is potentially going to clinch this.
They're going to rule that one out of bounds. Stein not happy, so that's going to give Galka a point and make it 3-2. So Again, Auburn picks up another big advantage, but we saw this game go back and forth for a long time there, so not a huge disadvantage for MTSU, but still something to keep an eye on.
Once again, 2-all in the second set on court 1. Court 2 right now, we can confirm on court 2 they are out of the first set 7-5. Tyler gets the victory over Francisco as the advantage 1-0 for the Auburn Tigers. And for court 3, as mentioned, it's supposed to go to the final set. We're going to take you over to court 6. Court 4 is a 3-2 advantage for Stefan. Oscar has a 3-1 advantage over Finn, and Will Nolan right now is leading 4-1 over Pavel.
And I believe that Nolan's going to rule that one out. Again, after taking a 6-2 early lead there, and he's got an opportunity, Pavel, taking the 6-2 win earlier, but Nolan has completely turned this game around now with a chance to make it a 1-1 affair, and that's, again, a narrative that continues to hold true. Auburn coming back in the second set and making waves.
You see Will Nolan making waves there again. He's in the fall. He was 3-1 in his combined record in tournaments. A lot of his clutch wins came against Vanderbilt, Miami, and Clemson. He's been in clutch situations like this before. As we continue full second set action here from the ATC.
Ooh, top, high and outside, so that's a mistake from Pavel that time. That was a crucial one, too, because, again, that game continues to turn more and more in Auburn's favor.
Yeah, Pavel just could not get the accuracy on there. Let's head over to court 2 now, where we'll see the action again between Francisco and Tyler. And Tyler leading 40-30.
Yeah, what a hard-fought game that was between Francisco. And you got to wonder, both of these players, how are they feeling right now, especially Rocha going through that very tough doubles matches. That game will head towards the back burner. But, again, it's amazing that the fact we're still at 1-0 and all this time has passed.
Yeah, right as we get over to one of the court actions, of course, it has to go to break. Thank you to our producer, Aiden, which unfortunately I don't remember his last name. He could kill me for that, but special thanks to Aiden for producing today and helping keep the show alive as we see Galka is leading 3-2.
Absolutely. Our producers do a great job of making us look good and making this into the great production that it is. So big thank you to Aiden.
It is tied 1-1 on court 3 right now between Tad and Chris in that third tiebreaker.
And that'll make, again, 40-15 right now. Stein on top. And again, these two have been going back and forth at it almost as much as Francisco did earlier in his singles matchup. 40-15 right now, Stein on top. And, you know, again, I've said it a lot, but this one would be huge to get it back to 3-3.
Again, a star in the Sun Belt Conference with UL Lafayette in Jan Galka. He's a junior now. Got a lot of reach on him at 6'5". As that goes in.
Yeah, free point for Galka that time. As Stein hit 2 into the net. Those are the kind of plays you just want to avoid, especially when you're at this level trying to beat this guy. Don't want to give him those free opportunities, but again, you got to imagine the exhaustion starting to play into these guys' minds. And even if they don't feel it as much physically, mentally, once it gets in there, it can be something that really overtakes your play style.
Stein lets that one go out of play.
Yeah, smartly done, and I believe that should give him the point, so that'll make it 3-3 in this contest. Big job there by Stein, and he's got an opportunity now, 3 more wins away from giving MTSU their second point of the day.
Close competition around the rest of these second sets, but not any competition that looks like it's going to clinch a point for anyone at this point. The closest one we've got is obviously on court 3 between Tad and Chris at 1-1, but the other closest one to that would be potentially on court 6. But The problem is with court 6, that's for it to go to a 1-1 tie in the set. So
yes,
Auburn not happy that they lost the doubles point.
No, I think that doubles point's something that if Auburn does lose, they're going to be kicking themselves over, because that would be absolutely huge. They could clinch this game a lot earlier than what it's going to take, but it's kind of been a pain for them here today.
Service outside there for Jan.
Gawk up 15-0. Chance here for the second serve.
Stein dug for it, couldn't get it in.
Yeah, usually when you see the players dig for those shots like that, it's usually a herald of bad things to come, and that's what happened to Stein right there. He had to extend, and it takes so much effort and honestly a little bit of luck for the ball to get in bounds after those kinds of shots, and unfortunately, Lady Luck was not on Stein's side this time.
We can tell you that court number 2 has got its first set point. Tyler Stice is now leading 1-0 over Francisco Rocha.
Reminder too, that's a 1-0 Auburn lead, so that'll give them an opportunity here. As I believe Stein ruled that serve did not get in, so we'll get a repeat. I think Galka thought it was. Here we go.
Barely got inside there.
That was a brilliant play, though. I love what Stein did that time. I think that Galka kind of expected him to go left with that ball, but came back to the right. But he did it in a way to where it was so narrow a margin for error for Galka that put the pressure on him. And that takes a special kind of player to deliver those shots that are, again, very little window, almost like a Roethlisberger Santonio Holmes pass in the Super Bowl. Very, very kind of reminiscent. Such little margin for error, but only guys like Stein Slump can make that kind of play.
That's my most fond Super Bowl memory.
You a Steelers fan?
Not a Steelers fan, just a fan of the NFL.
I gotcha. Legendary NFL moment is like Stein got into the curtain that time.
We can tell you on court 6 that Will Nolan is leading 5-2. He's very close to forcing it to the final tie-breaking set. Tad McLean is leading 2-1 over Chris Edge on court 3. And with the rest of the matchups, Oscar 3-2. Stefan 4-2, and obviously 3-3 here. As it's out of bounds, it's now 4-3 in favor of Jan Galka.
Yeah, Stein again trying to hit the corner shot that time. Unfortunately, this time it didn't exactly work out. So we're going to be heading to another court here in just a second. But again, things are really starting to turn in Auburn's favor. They pick up yet another point here. And keep an eye, folks, things are definitely turning around for Auburn.
MTSU has that pattern in the singles play where they start out strong. They're winning that first set. And usually, if they end up winning the match, the trend goes in the second set. They shut it down with a 3-point or more set victory in the second set. So right now, MTSU, they haven't really been in this situation before as we take you over to court 2.
No, but I think that's also showing that Auburn is testing them in the ways that they haven't really experienced it up to this point.
Apologies, court 5 is what we're on.
And I believe that one was scored by Merged. As we see Oscar, he's trying to flip this. You ever hear of in the election people trying to flip states? That's what they're trying to do right here. They're trying to flip the game. He is Oscar trying to make it back in favor of him 1-1, which would be huge and a chance for MTSU to get a point back that it looked like they may have lost. Still, though, very close and hard to say who's got the advantage right now.
And it looks like on court 6, we can officially tell you Will Nolan has the victory 6-2. That's going to go to a tie-breaking set. 2 of the 6 singles matches are heading to third tiebreak.
Another tiebreaker coming up, and again, that puts all the more pressure, and it's do or die time for these players. When you get to this point in time, you got to make sure that you can deliver, as we see another game kind of get shut down here, and we'll see what the results tally up here in just a second. Would be huge for Oscar to make it 4-2. And we'll get an update with that shortly. But again, like we said before, these games are getting all the more crucial.
Getting close and intense. What more could you ask for at the Adams Tennis Complex? It always brings such intense matchups. That's a credit as well to Coach Jimmy Borendame.
Absolutely.
Seeing the measuring stick of the players that he the players that he has and seeing where his team matches up as take you over to court 4, where Stepan and Raul are duking it out. It's a matchup between the graduate and the junior.
Yeah, Stepan struggled in the first matchup to get a rhythm kind of established, but he has since found that rhythm and has gotten a 4-3 victory, trying to close the, 4-3 lead, trying to close it out here.
Trying to force it to that tie-breaking set, trying to close it out here to go up 5-3, which make him go up a break. As we can also tell you on court 3, it's 2-all. Edge tied it up against Tad, and getting closer and closer in several of these contests.
That one will be one to watch. Those two have really been in a tug of war, so to speak, trying to see who blinks first.
As they rule it out, and a 40, I believe that is a 40 love advantage now for Stepan. Chance for him to go up a break.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to rule at 40-15. So Stepan with an opportunity here to close this thing out. And again, he's got a heck of a serve, an opportunity here for him. And looks like that one's going to head into the
I think that's
nets.
the announcer's jinx on that one.
Announcer's jinx is real, folks. It really happens. You know, I could say, for instance, Stefan's going to score, and we'll see what happens. If he doesn't score, it's on me. And he did, I believe, score that time. We'll see what they'll rule here. If he did, that would be absolutely huge, and I believe he did. So no announcer's jinx that time. Instead, it's Stepan getting the 5-3 advantage.
Chance for him to force it to a 1-1 third set tiebreak. Imagine how many matchups we've got right now that are going to this third and final set. We didn't even have this in the Notre Dame contest.
No.
It only came down to one or two of them that went to the final set tiebreak.
And I think the big difference between those two is that MTSU is fighting back in a big way. They kind of ended up having to kind of get shut down towards the end of that game, lost 5-2, but they are not going to back down from Auburn right now, throwing their best punches in a heavyweight bout. Love to see it.
Into the net. Lucky break there for Stepan.
Yeah, but nicely done by Stepan, too, because he actually, I don't know if you caught it, but he stumbled a little bit in the green. But what a great recovery he had to come back and hit it the way he did. That is some great composure. Love to see it. And this guy just continues to impress me more and more.
So 15 love.
And this would be an opportunity, again, for him to potentially make it a 1-1 affair here and force a tiebreaker set.
Outside on the serve.
And that should make it a second serve coming up here for Dobai, and it will.
Just inside of the line. What a move. Stepan perfectly placed.
Yeah, Stepan's in the zone right now. He's feeling it, and he can do no wrong right now on the tennis court. You love to see it. You almost just wish this was that would give MTSU the second point, but even still, it's huge. And we're going to have another update here from the man himself, Mr. Dan Eschenfelder.
So coming from Francisco again, another break. In this case, in Cisco's favor. He is now serving 2-1. I told you it was no holds bar over there.
Yes.
No holds court.
No courts barred.
No courts. Let's go with that.
No courts barred.
2-1. Cisco serving.
Again, he dropped that first set 7-5. So for him to lead up 2-1, trying to force it to that tie-breaking set as well. Jan Galka trying to do the same thing on Stein on court 1, where he's leading 4-3. And a lot of tie-breaking scenarios coming up here as we head down the stretch.
Yeah, there are more scenarios in this one than an NFL playoff format going down to the end right now. So many different things could happen, and I think that's kind of the fun of it. You don't know what's going to happen between these games, and it's part of the drama and the intensity. I don't know if Adams Tennis Complex has really ever seen a game perhaps this dramatic.
Drama in the air. Imagine how much drama will potentially be in the air on the outside of the Adams Tennis Complex when we get towards late March, early April.
Yeah, looking forward to those outdoor games, and they'll be coming soon, folks. Stay tuned.
Service back and forth here. And they rule it out there. It's a close one. You have those close situations there, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have a player call it out, especially when it's in a set point situation.
Yeah, I think that we saw Dubai he was looking at it, making sure it was careful, and I believe made the right call that time. But also for Hollis, the ball kind of kept getting closer and closer to being out, and I think it may have just went a little bit too far. Maybe again, just a game of inches, but still a chance for recovery here.
Stefan up 40-15. Outside.
Pressure on Dubai here to deliver an accurate serve. Ooh. Yes, he called it out. Nice job. That'll give Hollis the set point, and that'll make it 1-1. What a nice play that time.
1-1 as it heads to another tiebreaker. Can you believe this is now 2 matchups that we have out of 6 that's going to the 3rd set?
I mean, this is crazy stuff, folks. This does not usually happen, but we're already seeing a lot of drama, and we still got more on the way. I think we'll see some more 3rd game tiebreakers before it's all said and done. But again, as a fan, as a broadcaster, I am very excited to see what we're seeing right now.
Especially because of the way the rest of these are playing out. It's eking. It's just. I don't know if eking's the right word. It's sneaking closer and closer to that as we see Edge and McLean here in the 3rd. And again, right now it's 4-2 in favor of Chris Edge. It shows they're 1-0 on the point situation, but it is up 4-2. Chris Edge trying to close it out here.
Yeah, here comes the serve that time.
Can Edge do it?
Yes, he can. Nice. What a great play that time. Hit the net, but again, and that was just an example of outlasting your opponent. That's exactly what Chris Edge did that time. Sometimes it's who blinks first, and I think that's what we saw Mr. Clean do that time.
Is that his new name? Your new name for him, Mr.
Well,
Clean?
I saw an opportunity there with his last name there.
It looks like they're going to swap us back over to court 5, where we'll see Oscar and Finn duking it out. A reminder again, it's 5-3 in favor of Finn. He could potentially get the first point for Notre Dame on the day if Oscar doesn't find the will to fight back here. Again, at least looking on the sidearm stats, it says 5-3. Our scoreboard here with PlaySide is saying 3-2. I'm not sure which one has the more accuracy on there. More than likely, it's going off of the scoreboard that's in stadium.
Yeah, looks like it here. Oscar with a very high serve.
It's outside.
Well, I think he might have made a mistake that time. I'm not sure. I believe he may have thought it was going to be out, and instead it was ruled in. And you could see hands to his face. He was not happy with that one. And still, it's all right for Oscar. He just has to regroup and kind of rejuvenate himself. But obviously don't want to give up a free point in that situation.
Pavel leading 1-0 in the tie-breaking set on court 6. 5-4 advantage on court 1 for Jan. Tried to get it past the net and couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was a bullet shot that time, and we saw what Oscar was going for, spiking it into the ground, but unfortunately he spiked it into the net, so a bit of a mistake that time from Oscar, and that'll become more crucial. We're about to head to court 1 now, but boy, these games, again, just keep getting all the more exciting, and I think Oscar's game is going to be one to keep an eye on.
Janet and Stein has been an incredible matchup to watch with the lead singles players for MTSU and Auburn, and we get to witness a little bit more of it as, again, it is 5-4 in favor of Jan. Stein has a chance if he can get back. He'd have to win essentially 3 straight sets,
yes,
to clinch it, but Jan could be forcing it to the 3rd set here. As it's actually Stein fighting for it. Stein got it. 5-5.
5-5, and that was going to be absolutely crucial. And now Slump can deliver MTSU's 2nd point if he can win the next game.
He has to win two of those in a row. It's going to be tough. It looks like they're going to keep going here, at least on the scoreboard, and it says 5-5. Hopefully it's not from PlaySide being delayed. Otherwise, we just called it way too early for you.
We'll see the updates potentially here in a second. And I believe we can make it official as well. I believe we have been told that we have lost court 5 between Oscar and Mergit, so Auburn picks up a victory there.
Auburn's first point of the day comes in a singles matchup. Finn Mergit over Oscar.
Yeah, tough loss for Oscar there, but you still got to admire. He played a heck of a game, played his heart out, and he was down 3-0 in that early set, almost came back to win it. And he had to expend a lot of energy today, but still a lot of positive things he'll be able to take out from it, but obviously a tough loss for him.
Tied 1-1 now with MTSU claiming that doubles point earlier. So now MTSU knows the pressure is even more on them with singles play coming down to the wire. As you see to the right, court 5 action concluding. Stein. Got it.
Nice. Great job by Stein that time, and he was able to deliver a perfect shot to the back of the line. And now an opportunity to close things out. He's getting ever closer here. Gonna dust himself off with that towel. One thing we haven't mentioned too, both these guys have some height on them. They're very well elevated, and that means they've got more opportunities to hit these balls, bigger wingspan whenever they go farther out. So it gives these guys a more versatile skill set, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out towards the end.
Stein ruled that one out.
Yes, indeed, and of course, Galko with an overall height of 6'5", like we mentioned earlier, so like we said, that plays into this so much, more than you could imagine.
Stein, they rule it out.
Yeah, a little too far that time. I saw what he was going for. He loves the corner shots, and he loves delivering them, and that's what he was going for again to the left side this time, which would have been hard for Galka going on the backhand, but just a little bit too far for Stein. See some spectators beginning to grow around Stein's match.
I tell you, Francisco's leading 3-1 on court 2. And it's a 4-3 lead for Chris Edge right now in the tiebreak set. And we can also tell you on court 4, still haven't gotten any action in the third set yet, tied 1-1. Here's Stein. In play.
Yeah, they're going to rule that one in play, and that was absolutely huge for Galka that time. And this game, again, gets ever closer between these two. And I believe that was picked up a victory that time for Galka. And now it's a 5-5 matchup, and I believe we'll see. This is going to be a crucial game right here.
Yeah, the play side scoreboard on your screen has not been updated since we are on Shannon Stein. It is 5 all, trying to go to that 7th set, and at least for Stein, trying to get the second point for MTSU today. Can't get it there as it goes outside.
Yeah, that one was really close. Looked like it was close to being on the line as Coach Reynolds for Auburn is going to walk over towards him, and I believe that, yeah, so they're going to say that that was potentially it. So we're going to see a break there, and we'll see how that game progresses forward going there. But that's been a really back-and-forth game so far, and I think that's going to be maybe one of the more crucial games we have left.
That is a 6-5 advantage right now. And again, Jan is fighting for his singles life right now, trying to get to that third set right now. And we're going to head over to, I believe, court 3 between Chris and Tad again. Correction, we're actually going to court 2. Francisco and Tyler fighting it out again. Francisco leads 3-1 right now, at least according to the stat line. Maybe a delay on play side here to try and clinch it as he's up 30-love.
Yeah, up 30-love right now, and again, this would be absolutely huge for him. Ties up this set after taking that first set loss.
Into the net, 40-love.
I loved how Francisco played that one. Just barely made it over the net every time. That takes a special level of placement and a placement ability. Love what he did that time. And great, smart, intelligent play style by Francisco Rocha there. No understating how crucial this serve is going to be here.
Francisco trying to find it, couldn't do it.
Yeah, actually, it looked like things were in Francisco's corner, so to speak. The ball flew up in the air for a while, and usually that's a herald of good things, but instead, Stice turned the script over on Rocha, hit it right past him. So a bit of a tough break there for Francisco that time.
Even then, Francisco up 30 love. Maybe they'll update it here to 40 love, 30-15. As this is ruled in. Francisco could have easily called that out with how close it was. Chose to keep it in. Swatting it back and forth.
Nice.
Found the positioning.
That was perfect that time, and you see the fist pump from Rocha. Perfect backhand placement right away from the player where Stice could do nothing about it. Love to see it.
And we can also, we saw it earlier, but again, court 1, 6-5 victory for Jan over Stein. So that's heading to 4 of 6 of our singles matchups are heading to a third and tie-breaking set, which is incredible.
Yeah, this is going to, again, like we said, it's going to be a marathon, not going to be a sprint. These MTSU guys knew it going in. It wasn't going to be easy to take down the 24th ranked team in the nation, and they were saying it's a challenge.
And as you see here, Chris Edge is leading 5-3 right now, potentially has the chance to clinch it. He wanted to get done sooner than later, but doesn't have the chance to do that with this going the full distance.
Yeah, this could at least potentially give MTSU the advantage back on top with a 2-1 overall lead in the game. And Chris Edge knows that. He knows the pressure that's on him, but he's not a guy who's scared of the stakes.
He's been in these situations plenty of times before. Conference USA champion. It's Chris Edge. Gets it in. I believe they called that a let. May have been ruled out a play on his part.
Yeah, I believe so that time. And we'll see what the update will be here in a second. Big serve coming up here, though, from McLean. And I believe that one was out, so you can kind of see players usually take that first serve in a specific way where they're trying to hit with as much speed and velocity as possible. Now here comes a safer option.
Chris Edge got the ball to go into the net.
Yeah, it almost looked like he could have ruled that one out of bounds for a second, but he ended up playing it out through, ended up working out in his favor anyway, as Edge gets another huge point. And this matchup is going to be really crucial. Like we said, no understating it. It would give MTSU a second overall point here in the game. Chris Edge trying to do just that, and look how far back he's playing this one. He's expecting something big here.
5-3 advantage for Edge. Hops, skips, jumps off of the net.
And you can see how he ever so slightly comes up over. That's because he knows this serve won't be nearly as big.
Just inside of the line, outside on the singles.
Big one for Chris there. And let's see here that, as we'll see McLean take up the towel. Don't believe the game's quite over yet, though. Both players kind of just collecting themselves right now, and with how much exhaustion we've seen out of these guys, they deserve a break here at this moment.
I believe we have a split screen coming up between courts 1 and 3 because of how close those contests are coming down to. So we'll get court 3 on your right side. We'll continue to see the action between Tad and Chris. And then court 1 on your left side is going to be between Jan and Stein. Again, Jan and Stein right now it's 6-5. Jan in advantage. And that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, Stein trying to close this out, give MTSU their second point here, as that one goes into the net that time. 6-5 in that one. And I believe Edge still has a 5-3 advantage in his game, as that game's currently under break. And these games will continue to progress forward, and actually might have done it for that series. No, and instead he's just going to get the tennis balls there.
So we are on your left with court 1. It's a 7-point tiebreaker. That's what it's coming down to. And again, Chris Edge does have the advantage, but it's 5-4. right now. Chris Edge trying to shut it completely down and get the second point for MTSU.
Yeah, crucial point for McLean that time, though. It looked like things were going to be all but over, but McLean not backing down from the challenge, and he's able to overcome the odds and get himself a point there. So that game continues forward and extends on for just a little bit longer. See Stein over there on your left getting ready to prime himself up for this huge serve here. And like we said, this game could progress forward for a long time with it being a tiebreaker as it is.
As you see on the right, McLean hits the ball into the net. Celebration by Edge. He's trying to close things out. On the left side, here's Stein's slump. It's the back and forth motions. Just got it in. That amazing effort by Stein Slump. Almost did the splits and got it in the corner.
I have never seen a play like that before. Stein Slump on the hop. He was doing the splits like you said. Looked like he was in a game of Twister, and he still somehow got the point inside. What a job, and this man refuses to let this point pass him by that easily. What an awesome play that was. And oh, by the way, going on your right side, still Edge and McLean in their matchup.
It looks like McLean missed the attempt there, and Edge, and a little bit of a celebration. Again, we are in action on court on the third set in courts 6, 4, and 3. Court 1 here might be going to the third set if Stein can't shut it down.
We'll see how that one goes forward. And meanwhile, action resuming between McLean and Edge on the right side.
Edge looking for it. Here's back.
Got it.
Chris Edge has got the job done, it looks like. Chris Edge, second point for the Blue Raiders.
Chris Edge went crisscross that time. What a great play he did on McLean. Nice gesture with the handshake there, and Chris Edge has made it 2-1 MTSU, and it looked a little rocky in the second set, but this guy wasn't going to quit that easily, and he has made a huge difference in this one.
Chris Edge tried to shut it down early, came out swinging 6-1. Tad McLean did not go quietly into the night, and 6-3 in the third set. As you see this crowd getting into it here, the excitement here in the ATC as we get full screen here between Stein and Jan.
Yeah, this game currently undergoing the tiebreaker treatment, so to speak, and ball will go back over on Stein's side. And this second set feels like it's been going on for a while now, and I'm sure it has. And you can see the crowd converging.
Stein fighting for it. Into the net. Stein was fighting for it. He couldn't get it done.
Yeah, that was a situation where he just kind of under-rotated the ball that time into the center side of the net, and that was a crucial point that time, and Stein picks up his towel, and I believe, yeah, so that should give the point that time for Galka. So that should send us to a third and tiebreaker set. What a hard-fought job by Slump that time, but we're not done yet. We're going to get a few more games.
Only one court went 2 sets, and that was court 5. It was a 2-0 sweep of Finn over Oscar, and we are right now heading back over to court 2 in what's been pretty incredible right now in the ATC.
It has just been an incredible day for tennis and for tennis fans. About all you could ask for, really, between two heavyweight contenders.
As mentioned, the play site scoreboard is having major issues right now. The latest is Francisco is leading 4-3 right now over Tyler Stice, trying to force this to the tie-breaking set as Francisco digs there and inside of the line gets the job done. Crisscross for Francisco.
Patty Mahomes would be proud. The no-look sidearm shot to the corner. I love to see it from Rocha, and he's getting that swagger, that confidence he needs to take care of business. And again, I think a lot of these players are getting that confidence back that they may have lost a little bit in the second sets, but they're starting to get it back up. And boy, things have really changed for MTSU. They're starting to get the advantage back, starting to get that MTSU True Blue pride back in this affair. Shows how quickly, momentum can change.
And at least on our end, on the singles, it says 6-all in the second set, so they're still going to another tiebreak there to determine the winner of the second set on court 1. As a slide there, and Francisco couldn't get it back over.
Yeah, he couldn't, as Stice just kind of sliced it in there that time, right over the net. And we're going to see Rocha go back on towards the right side, and he'll go pick up another tennis ball, and I believe he will be back to serving.
Looks like we've got some more intense action going down on court 1, so we're going to get you the action yet again from Stein and Jan as court 1 just gets closer and closer. Again, it's 6-all on the true scoreboard here. 5-4 is inaccurate on play site right now, and I believe it also has about a 45-second delay, so a little bit of issues going on with play site, but nothing we can't work with here on MTN Sports. And 6-all here in this second set.
Yeah, and Stein's going to try to make do with the situation he's been given as well here.
High and outside.
Yeah, again, high and outside. Stein not happy with himself for that one. I think he just expected the ball to come a little bit farther than what it really did. He kind of had to scoot up that time and resulted in the ball projecting out of bounds. And I believe we're going to see another update from the man himself, Mr. Dan Eschenfelder. What do you have for us?
Yeah. So guess which court I'm coming from?
Probably 6, right?
No, court 2, you know, the court of no holds.
Yes.
Happened again. Francisco was up a break. Not anymore. 4-4, and Auburn is serving. They're on serve.
Yeah, it's still in the second set there on court number 2. Francisco having a tough time over there, and Stein is having a tough time here as well, just trying to finish out the second set.
Yeah, this has been such a hard thing for him to do right now. But again, Galka is not going to quit, and it's like they can't beat one another. It's like it's very hard for these two to find the better. And again, very very similar play styles. Both tall guys, both fast guys, both agile guys, and they play a very similar style. So trying to find the better one between these two is a very difficult task.
Stein fighting again. Got a swat there and out of play.
Yeah, they're going to rule that one out of bounds. That was a close one. Stein with the advantage there, and Galka kind of to his knees now. It was very, very close towards that white line, but again, I think Stein was right there. You kind of just saw it drifting and drifting, and I believe it just hit the out-of-bounds marker. Boy, and with all these games going to the third set, it feels like every play, every hit of the ball matters that much more. And this is what we would refer to, folks, as crunch time.
We might have crunch time here as Slump got the better of Galka.
Yes, he did. Firing up the fans and his fellow teammates there. Stein's beginning to feel it, and maybe he's got the chance to close this thing out. And you hear the fans getting excited now.
And I believe that updates it to sending the balls over for Auburn to serve. So I believe it's 7-6 now.
Which means if Stein can win this next game, it's over, and he gets the point for MTSU.
Just haven't gotten an update officially on the scoreboard here. Should be 7-6. As that goes out of play.
Yeah, it drifts out of bounds that time. Tough break for Stein as he tried to elevate it, but just couldn't get it there. And actually, no, they're going to head over. So we will get an update from that game in just 1 second. But that game just continues with the twists and turns. It's like a dramatic novel, so to speak.
The junior versus the senior. Been an intense matchup to see on court 1. As we're going to bounce around here to court 2, which again is the no courts barred as we've nicknamed it. Right now on the scoreboard, 4-4. Tyler and Francisco are fighting. Tyler's got the advantage with a 1-0 set lead after the 7-5 tiebreak, and it's now 4-4 Francisco trying to force it to a tie-breaking set.
Yeah, except with steel chairs and tables, this is being fought with tennis rackets and tennis balls, folks.
Into the net. Francisco would want that back.
Yeah, I think he'll want that one back there. A little bit of a mental error, mental mistake, so tough break for him there. One he'll want back.
I believe we're going back over to action on court 1 as they're coming out of the break to see the final moments of the second set here. Here's Stein. As with the delay, outside.
Yeah, out of bounds. Looks like it drifted, and that will send it back over to Stein. Yeah, not sure what the exact score is right now, but again, you can just tell that by the passion of the players and the way that people are reacting, just how crucial this is. Could very well be the game that decides who wins or loses this matchup.
2-1 for MTSU. And now, from what we're being told, it's now 7-7, so it's going to the 10-point tie break with what you just saw on your screen. This 10-point tie break is, again, as you mentioned it, Dylan, this is the singles matchup that will likely determine who wins the overall match.
Yes, indeed, because if everything else holds, this will be the one that will decide who wins. So there's a reason why we're sticking with this one. This is probably going to be it. So, again, keep your eyes open and your ears peeled back. It's going to be one for the ages.
Service back is Stein trying to fight for it. Stein, service over. Got it!
Nicely done. And that was a big one for Stein there. We're going to have to go split screen with courts 1 and 2, but man, that was absolutely huge by Stein.
Yeah, courts 1 and 2. You see the action, 1 left, 2 right. And it's 8-7 right now on court 1 during this 10-point tiebreak. And 5-4 advantage over here on court 2 in favor of Francisco. Again, if Francisco gets this, he forces it to the 3rd set.
Yes, indeed, he will. And again, got to say, if MTSU, whoever pulls this out this game, they will have earned it every step of the way, because this has just been a game where everything is, except the kitchen sink, has been thrown out.
Service over. They led on court 1 against Stein.
8-7 again. 1st to 10 wins this set. So Stein 2 wins away. Galka 3 wins.
Stein on the left, trying to fight for it. Stein 1 away.
Got it, and you hear the crowd reaction. They're pumped up. 1 away, 9-7. And actually, no, I believe that might have done it. Stein Slump takes the victory. What a huge win and a big-time decision for MTSU.
3-1, Blue Raiders over the Auburn Tigers. 1 point away, 1 singles match away.
Oof, I got to say, that one was a marathon in every sense of the word, but what a huge win, and what heart and determination that Stein Slump showed.
Back over to court 2, which this match could be the match-clinching game between Francisco Rocha and Tyler Stice, as it's now 5-4.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny as we were watching, the fans all collectively moved to the other side to watch, and now Rocha getting fired up, and you know, you got to wonder if he knows. I'm sure he's been checking the scoreboard, but now he'll know that his match could be the determinant factor in this one.
And as far as I can tell, there are no games going on with the court 1 side of the complex. All the fans, of course, moving to the other side. Might need to readjust the camera for the fans' camera at some point. But at least for now, Francisco is leading 5-4. As you see the delay there, and got the better of him.
Yeah, it did that time. He went a little too far up close to the net, and the ball just whizzed past him. And again, that's a mistake that you sometimes make, as you try to get the ball up against the net, and it can go right past you.
Here's the latest updates for you as it stands now. Stein, of course, got it finished. He got the point for MTSU here on court 2, 5-4. Francisco's trying to force it to the third set. Already talked about how Chris Edge clinched point number 2. And for court 4, it is a 4-2 advantage for Raul over Stepan. Court 5, of course, that settled a while ago. And court 6, it's 3-all. Between Will and Pavel.
That ball flies out of the box, so another opportunity here for Rocha. Let's see where he positions this in the box to disorient Stice. Oh,
tried to reach for it, couldn't get it.
Yeah, he tried to reach for it that time. It was a fingertip away, but again, he just couldn't get it. And again, that's another example of Rocha kind of getting up too close to the net. And I think he's trying to go on attack mode right now to get Stice with all the pressure in his position, but again, it kind of backfired on Rocha that time. And again, all 3 games remaining, all the more critical, because if MTSU can win even one of these, the entire game will be theirs to win.
There's Rocha. Francisco, golden opportunity if he could take advantage of it. Got it.
Absolutely. There was nothing Stice could do about that one. What a play by Rocha that time. He was waiting on it like a pop fly, and then slammed it home. And Rocha takes advantage. And potentially it was the play he might need to get back in the groove of things. And I believe we're going to see Rocha serve again from the right side this time. See Stice kind of standing towards the opposite side, I believe. And actually now they've sorted it out. So instead, Rocha will serve from the left side. You can see the players, and especially Rocha, you watch his rhythm here. You have to bounce it a certain number of times, goes up in the air, and that's kind of the comfortable rhythm that the players get themselves into.
Rocha looking for the chance. Tried to get it on the line. Into the net.
Yeah, into the net, and I believe that's going to give Stice with another opportunity, another point potentially there. We'll get an update for you as soon as we can. Well, Rocha will head back towards the back of the line, and that'll give Stice, and actually we do have an update, 5-5 on court 2, so that game is now incredibly close.
Yeah, right here it is 5-5 with the close back and forth matchup here. As mentioned, 5-2, Raul leading over Stepan on court 4. And court 6, it's a 4-3 advantage for Pavel.
Yeah, and again, Pavel and Rocha right now with the leads have a lot of pressure to deliver here. That ball fly out.
And called out at the last second there by Francisco.
And we're going to see Rocha retreat back towards the left side, but Correct me if I'm wrong, but this could be the this will give you a third set game, obviously, if Rocha can win this, and we'll see the hits here really quickly.
A lot on the line for MTSU with this one. So that one goes far out.
Yeah, no kidding. You're talking about momentum. You're talking about pride. You're talking about a cornerstone victory for them if they can win. And especially with the amount of success they've shown today, they really want to try to get this thing done here. But correct me if I'm wrong. For MTSU, the only way right now to get a point would be to force the third set, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I believe so.
Or
now there is still a chance that 6 can clinch the contest, since Pavel is leading 4-3.
Yes, that Pavel-Moldo matchup will be huge. So again, now I think Pavel's the game that people are going to be intrigued by, and of course Rocha another one as well. And with this game being as close as it is, 5-5, Rocha's a guy who I think people have a lot of trust in the third set, and for good reason. He is best known for delivering in crunch time, and we'll see if he can close that out here.
It's Francisco.
Nicely
Inside.
done. That was perfectly done to the left side by Rocha, and he'll take a moment to compose himself, but that one was especially big. And we'll see, especially as this game progresses forward. I wonder if this game, much like the previous, will go to a potentially first to 10 tiebreaker.
Depends as well, because it is 3-1 for MTSU. It depends on if Pavel can clinch it. We could tell you it is 4-4 in favor of Pavel on court, in favor of neither on court 6. So tied up there. But Stepan is fighting back a little bit. It's 5-3. Here's Rocha. Francisco tried to get it, I believe the ball bounced before he got it over the net. So in that case, you can see all the fans looking on the other side of the court from us, looking like a good set of final contests that are coming down to the wire here.
Yeah, and again, as a tennis fan, as an MTSU fan, there's not much more you could ask for in terms of drama, intensity, and overall action here on the tennis courts right now.
2 on your left, 6 on your right. Both of them are on breaks right now, or at least court 2 is about to resume, as you see here. Here's Rocha.
Game, of course, still on the second set.
Far out.
Yeah, another one flies out for Francisco. We kind of saw he was crushing up on the balls there earlier, but it kind of ended up being something he changed up here as of late. Retreated backwards, and now he's going to head back towards the bench.
So I believe that with Francisco, I believe that goes to a 6-5 is what we're looking at. Of course, has to be 2 set points. Take the advantage on your right. Here's Pavel and Will at 4-all. Into the net.
Into the net indeed. And in terms of viability, these are probably the 2 main matches that MTSU has an opportunity or a big one to win. And again, that's kind of why we're going split screen here. But again, here we got Nolan, who gonna hit the left side serve.
Goes trying to get it inside. Found the ace. Pavel-Moldo with an incredible move.
Yes, indeed. Pav got the job done right there. Nice job sticking with it and slamming it home, as he often does.
As you can see here, we might be going to a single screen on one of these matches. Both of them are at least in some rest situations here, but continue with Pavel on your right for court number 6, as Will Nolan is up 5-4.
Ball flies into the net there for Pav. We'll see how this game progresses forward and head back over towards the right sides for both of these opponents respectively. And of course, the fans have converged on these matches. They are watching them with great intensity. And the great thing about it is they're right side by side. So that intensity is, again, coming off of both of these games right now. And it can be a dizzying thing to keep up with as both a fan and a broadcaster.
Up on your left, into the net. Right side, Pavel.
Ball flies out on the right for Pav. He kind of got a little too much air under it. On the left, there's the serve.
It's Francisco. Good ace.
Nicely done by Francisco. What a job and what an adjustment mid-flight. Put that ball on the money and made a deposit in the bank. What a great job by Francisco Rocha. That mid-air adjustment, so crucial, and very few players besides him can do it.
There's Pavel, right side. And looks like it did go final in terms of court number 4. It looks like Raul Dobai gets the victory over Stepan Hollis 6-3. It is now 3-2. So the 2 contests you see on your screen right here, that's all that's left in singles.
So this will be it for both of these matchups, and now the players know that they're keeping their eyes fixed on the prize, and we'll see who comes up on top as a sliding job that time by Stice. But Rocha answers.
Rocha with the reversal.
Big time reversal, and now we're going to see the serve on the right side.
Pavel. And with that, it's now 5-5 in the third set.
5-5 in the third set. What more could you ask for? This game as close as possible. On the left, we got Rocha taking place in his game.
That was high and outside.
And Rocha's fired up. I love him waving his arms out there. And now the Blue Raiders with an advantage in that one. Rocha immediately goes over to get a nice high five. Boy, the intensity and the fans as well, they're feeling it. They're loving what they're seeing. And I got to imagine that fan reaction is going to play a role in how Auburn approaches this. As a player, I can attest that I never really had fans, at least of this magnitude, so it's a little bit different. Can't exactly explain what the players are feeling like, but you got to imagine it's something that they're going to have to deal with and have experience with here.
Here's Francisco. It stays inside. Francisco tried to get it over the net. You saw the effort from him, just couldn't get it. As you see on your right side, that ball gets inside of the corner. Good effort there by Will Nolan, who again has not lost a singles matchup yet. He's fighting to keep that win streak alive.
Yeah, well, he does not want to lose for the first time this season. Auburn doesn't want to lose for the first time this season. And more reminder, if you needed one, Auburn 8-0, number 24 in the nation. MTSU's trying to get that seminal victory. So crucial. Both these teams, they have to win, and they cannot afford to lose.
There's the service back. Rocha dug for it.
And I think he got it. What a play by Rocha, I believe.
He got it.
And yes, he did. What a play on the scoop shot.
Here's Pavel. They ruled it out of play. Pavel getting the benefit of the doubt there as Will Nolan just let it go out.
Yes, he did. He was kind of waiting on it, but it eventually did go out of bounds. So that game continues to get more and more intense. Meanwhile, on the left side, we've got Rocha with the serve.
Still fair in play. Rocha
got it. Nicely done by Rocha that time. Stice tried to crush the net, but he ended up getting burned by the fire, and it ends up getting a point for Rocha. Meanwhile, on the right side, you can see, can't tell, I believe that's Coach Jimmy, however, having a discussion with Pavel right now. Again, Pavel knows the challenge he faces. Nolan unbeaten, trying to keep that streak alive at all cost.
Auburn risking taking their first loss of the season. As you see Rocha on the left fighting. And the miss on the right side by Nolan. And on the left side, Rocha still fighting for it.
Yes, indeed. There's that scoop shot. What a nice play on the right side. Oh, backwards, and I believe
Out of play.
It was out of play. So Rocha gets the point, if I'm not mistaken. What a nice job that time. Great recognition, and it leads more into MTSU. And I believe that if I'm not, there's the motion. I believe that's going to be 1st to 10.
Yep, 1st to 10 is what they're ruling here. So actually, Coach Jimmy is in the blue jacket there at the right side, sitting on the bench there. And you see the service back and forth between Rocha and Stice. It's Francisco Rocha. Gets the slam down. What a move by Francisco.
Yes, indeed. Slam down, slam dunk. And boy, what a way to kick off what's going to be a marathon performance from both of these two. Going to be our own version of Brett and Sean at Mania 12, as these two could go for a long while, but it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. It is going to be absolutely exhilarating. Of course, we already saw one 1st to 10 tiebreaker with Stein slump at his matchup, and of course, that was a huge victory. He's led into this scenario for MTSU.
See a service fault on the left. Here's a service on your right from Pavel. Into the net on Pavel's side.
Huge for Pavel right there. You see the reaction. Coach Jimmy coming to give him congratulations on that one. And both now heading over towards the side. And it looks like that could be it. And actually, nope, they're just swapping sides. Pardon me. Got a false thing there.
And we also have a break on, both courts are on a break. So in that case, it is at least 5 all. It is 5 all right now on court 6, and court 2 is on 6 all. Look at this amazing crowd behind us. We've been talking about it all day, how so much of this is a collective effort to bring people out to watch some collegiate tennis courts, admissions free, that helps with it here at the Adams Tennis Complex. But they definitely chose the right day to come out.
They absolutely did, and I don't think they could have picked a better day. This game has been everything you could ask for. We've seen twists, we've seen turns. MTSU looked like they were going to win. Then Auburn looked like they were going to win. And now we're going to see who picks up the ultimate advantage at the end. Should be fun to see.
We're going to see some split screen action again. Same situation as they're going to be coming out of a break in just a few moments. Again, Francisco on the left, Pavel on the right. And I believe they're still in the 10-point tiebreak right now, as court 2 is 6-1, I believe. 6-1 in favor of MTSU.
Yeah, big one right there. So Pavel is going to be, again, very close to closing this thing out, trying to finish this thing off for his team here.
There's Pavel.
And Pavel gets it done. He showed some Pavel power that time. What a nice play. And over on the left side, Rocha gets the point.
Outside of the singles play there, Rocha fired up on that, as I believe they will swap sides again over on court 1. They'll have a little bit of a rest there, so maybe we can get court number 2 on full screen after this service.
And remember, that game on your left side is the 1st to 10 set. And we'll see a serve now from Nolan.
Pavel. Got it on the line.
He went across court, but he got it perfectly on the line. And Pavel Modal's in his zone right now. And you hear the chants from the crowd as well.
Pavel Modal leading 6-5 right now on court 6.
Yes, indeed. So that's going to be another game that's going to force another unique condition with a 2-game win streak instead. So, again, keep your eyes peeled on both these games. If Pavel can win the next one, though, that should give MTSU ultimate victory.
There's Pavel. Into the net.
Yeah, into the net that time. And he's going to have to regroup and refocus. Again, those things are going to happen as a player. And I'm sure that's what Coach Jimmy's discussing with him right now. Such an excellent motivator is Coach Jimmy. He knows exactly what his players need to hear at a given time, and that's what he's trying to display right now to Pavel.
The fight back and forth. Pavel again. You see the delay there. Pavel Model slams it in. Got it on the line.
Yes, he did, and again, another thunderous crowd reaction from the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex. But Pavel Model delivers another clutch play. Man's got ice water in his veins. And we'll see what will happen next. I believe we will get clarification here in a moment, but I believe Pavel will be serving here momentarily.
Here's Pavel Model. Pavel Model trying to get it back. Pavel, it's outside. Pavel, and for the first time since 2006, the Blue Raiders have taken down a top 25 ITA team. Auburn falls in Murfreesboro.
Pavel Model does the honors, and MTSU gets perhaps their biggest win in years as they take home a huge win over top 25 Auburn. What a performance by these Blue Raiders, and in addition, they hand Auburn their first loss of the season, and what a victory for this team.
Tyler Stice and Francisco Rocha retired, and Pavel Model is, if we don't get to talk to him post-game, I don't know who else we will. But Pavel Model, the senior from Czech Republic, gets it done in Murfreesboro.
Absolutely. This is a day that he's never going to forget, a day that will live in his memory for the rest of his life. And he delivered big time, stepped up when he needed to. This is a moment that can define careers, and Pavel Model just made himself a legend.
And again, 23 San Diego on March 10th, 2006 was the last time that this occurred. And now make it February 18th, 2022. MTSU has another mark of history.
Yes, they do, and what's already been an incredible season for them, they continue to make history. And you know, to bring it up, I know a lot of people were maybe a little discouraged after the Notre Dame loss, but I think this is the kind of victory that MTSU can use to reach a new paradigm in their history here at the Adams Tennis Complex.
What a matchup. What a matchup. What a game. What a game. What a set of sets. What a match. We're going to hear from Coach Jimmy Borendame and his player of the game in a few moments. 4-2, the final score here from Murfreesboro. We'll be back on CUSA TV. MTN Sports will be back in a few moments. MTSU, for the first time since 2006, takes down a top 25 ITA college.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6v4. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got two. Oh! I'm going to that game.
welcome back to the Adams Tennis Complex. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Dylan Simmons. 4-2, the final score here from the Adams Tennis Complex. MTSU gets its first victory against a top 25 ITA ranked college since 2006. Who better to help us capture that moment than the star of the game himself, Pavel Model. Pavel, congratulations on the game-clinching win in singles, but let's talk first about, you started out with the doubles matchup. It was a tough competition in that. How much of a motivational factor was that for you, winning that doubles matchup heading into the singles?
First of all, I'm super proud of the whole team because this is amazing win for us, and it just proves that we do right things and that we work hard. So first of all, I'm very proud to the guys. And yeah, we started off the doubles very strong. I mean, we were up on all three courts, and you know, we playing some great doubles. So we knew that if we're gonna do the things that we do at practice, it's gonna be our point. So we just proved it on the court as well. So that's perfect.
Absolutely, great stuff. And really, I think one of the main questions I have is there were moments in the match, obviously, where MTSU was having their issues, weren't necessarily on top. What was the main thing? How did you guys stay strong in those moments?
It's just about trusting your skills. You know, like we know that we can play great tennis. We know it. We prove it every day in practice, and it's just about transferring into the real match. So I'm super happy that we showed the Auburn guys that we are tough. We are a tough team, and that we can compete with everyone.
And, of course, throughout the season, you've had your struggles in singles play. You're now on a 2-game win streak in singles matchups. How much more meaningful is this win for you heading into the rest of the season?
I think it's important. I'm super happy that I came up and win this one. But, you know, as I said, it's all about trusting in your skills and having that ability to know that you can play tennis, because everyone can play tennis in practice. It's just about transferring it into the real match, and I think I did good job in this today, and so I'm happy for that. And you know, it's just another match. We have another match in 2 days, so we are happy about this, but we need to go through this and focus on the next one on Sunday again.
Absolutely, I love the focus. And last question, what was the thing that stood out to you or that you're the most proud of with your team and yourself own performance?
I'm just proud of this team because we have a lot of new guys, and it's not easy for them to fit. Actually, it is easy to fit for them because we are great teammates, but you know, we have almost half of the team is new, so find that balance between, you know, teaching them and showing them what to do on the court is great. And I think this win just shows that we found that balance and that we can compete with everyone. So it's perfect.
How much does warming up with the soccer ball with your teammates help you guys to prepare for the match? We were watching that earlier. How much does that really help into your game day strategy?
I honestly think that's the key. That's the key because, you know, Coach Jimmy doesn't like it too much, but we are like, for us, just those 5 minutes with the soccer ball, it just makes us happy. So I hope that he will keep that for us, and that he always teasing us. So he wants to take that ball away from us and like throw it in the garbage can or something. So we try to like escape from him and try to keep the soccer ball. So it's just, you know, a little fun before the warm up, before the practice, but I think it's very, very important. It also builds the team spirit, you know, like it brings the guys together and we have some fun together, so it's perfect.
Well, you could tell it perfectly worked for today. Again, ladies and gentlemen, your player of the game, Pavel Model. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you guys heading on the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You could tell so much. The crowd loves it. You could tell so much of how humble Pavel Model is with the way he gave his responses. And he always talked about there are several athletes, you see that in sports, where they talk about it being a team effort. You talk about it being focused on the team. And who better to focus on that than not just the captain of the team, the leader of this victorious squad, who's now 4 games straight in their victories, and Coach Jimmy Borendame. Coach, usually I don't like going on the script, but I'll just ask exactly word for word what it is on the script. How do you feel we did in today's match?
You know, that was awesome. You know, the crowd was amazing. The energy that the crowd brought and the boys just stepped up. I mean, from the get-go. I mean, that doubles team that won doubles that we beat, Mergit and McLean. They finished second in the nationals last year, and you know, Ozzy's just, you know, on a roll, and so was Brock. So awesome start to the day. So it was great.
Absolutely, and obviously a huge win for you guys. And really, the question I have is, how crucial is this going to be for the rest of your season moving forward?
Oh, yeah, good. This is going to be really good. You know, this is my first top 25 win as a head coach. The last time the team beat a top 25 team was 2006.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So to kind of get on the board there, you know, one of our goals is to be a top 25 team. And, you know, this is a step in the right direction. So I'm really excited. You know, things don't stop. You know, my mind is calmed down, and I'm already thinking about Michigan State already. So Sunday. So, and then not to mention, we're going to see Auburn again next weekend at the Blue Gray. So can't, you know, and they're going to come after us for sure.
That'll be a good rematch for sure. And, you know, Coach, you guys are now on a 4-game winning streak. Of course, that first loss of the season coming against Notre Dame. You that win streak was broken then, but you managed to break the winning streak on the undefeated season of the Auburn Tigers here in the Adams Tennis Complex. How meaningful is that for you and this team to be able to break someone else's streak?
Yeah, you know, we knew they were hot. You know, they didn't play the kickoff. And, you know, they made a nice addition in that Raul Dabai at number 4. You know, at number 4, we had the New Mexico transfers battling. But, you know, to be honest, there was a lot of tension between the two teams. You know, we've battled now 3 years in a row. We beat them in 2020, right before that shortened season. And then last year they got us at their place and had a great crowd. And, you know, now we kind of returned the favor. So hopefully, you know, we can kind of keep this very competitive home and away going with these guys, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to keep up the great performances as well. Last question. Obviously, there were a lot of tough matchups today that came down to the wire. What do you think it is about your players that allows them to come away with these clutch victories in the biggest moments?
You know, the thing that for me is really important, and when I'm recruiting these guys, is being coachable. You know, and you know, Pavel Model right there. It was 4-all, and he had a deuce point to go up 5-4. He missed a shot. He went down 4-5, and I said, hey, you know what? You know, listen here. We're here. Trust me, this kid's a freshman. It's coming down to him. We got to make some balls, put some balls in play, back up, hit a couple backhand slices, put the ball in play, let him kind of gag it a little bit, try to come up with a little bit more. And he did. And, you know, I credit to Pavel. I was begging him for the entire third set to start blocking the return back in play, which I don't usually do because it's very, very passive tactic. And he finally did it. And we kind of knew. I knew that game at 5-all. I told Nathan on the sideline, I said, whoever wins this game wins the match. And so we did. So I believe it's being coachable. Coachability with these guys. They make adjustments. If I say jump, they say how high. There he is.
Well, Coach, can we get a promise from you that the soccer ball will not be thrown in the trash can after their performance for today?
No. I'm going to go find that damn soccer ball right now while they're not paying attention.
Right.
You know, and they're celebrating, talking to the fans. So thanks so much for everything, you guys. I really appreciate it. This is awesome.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck to you guys on the season. Again, the victorious coach, Jimmy Borendame.
Congratulations.
And again, another win streak at home had begun against TSU, and it continues again here in the Adams Tennis Complex. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up here?
You know, I actually covered the first game. I was on the call for the first game after that Notre Dame loss against Tennessee State, and you could tell, even though they were a little flattened, this team was not going to let that loss define their season. They haven't. They've rebounded in a huge way. They've now picked up wins in the last couple of weeks over Virginia Tech, over Indiana, and now a huge signature victory over number 24 Auburn. This team is hitting their stride, and it's coming together perfectly. This Blue Raiders team is a nationally reckoned force that is going to be a huge talking point for weeks to come, and I got to say, it's incredible to see. Congratulations to the MTSU Blue Raider men's tennis team.
And especially a good matchup for them to have on the victory. They have a long traveling stint. Coach mentioned on Sunday they're headed to Michigan State, and then they've got the Blue Ray Championships down in Montgomery. Then they will travel over to Oklahoma State at Southern Florida before March 13th at 10 a.m. where they host Tennessee Tech. But as for MTN Sports, our next broadcast is actually going to be on Sunday, where the women's tennis team hosts Ball State. So should be fun to cover that one. But what a matchup, what a contest, what a great sight to see here in the Adams Tennis Complex. It's been fun with you, Dylan.
It has been awesome.
And special thank you to the production crew on the back end, all the hardworking men and women that make this so successful. You can watch all of the matches for MTN Sports coverage of the men's and women's tennis teams on CUSA TV, archived on demand, as well as a special thank you to everybody in the School of Journalism and Strategic Media for Middle Tennessee State University, as well as the athletics department for making this possible. For Dylan Simmons, Dan Eschenfelder, Noah Brady, Aiden, last name skipping my name again, for all the Aiden Hoffmeister. Thank you for telling me that now. But for Aiden Hoffmeister, Dylan Simmons, Dan Eschenfelder, Noah Brady, all the hardworking men and women that have made this so successful. I'm Spencer Tomset saying MTSU takes down a ranked team for the first time since 2006, 4-2 over Auburn. Good night, everyone.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet 4. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.